Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the WYW podcast. We cover all things Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Now here are your hosts, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher, and the voices of Weymouth Youth Wrestling, Jonathan Taylor and Nathan Farrar.
Test matches are behind us, and now we move on to the first half of the Gold Rush Tournament. Welcome back to WYW, the story you need to know before Immortal. I am your host, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher, here once more with Mr. Excitement, Jonathan Cadover. Hello. And the main man, Nathan Farrar.
Hey, how you doing, folks?
Well, they're probably doing a lot better than we are because it's kind of hot in this car.
Yeah, we're on the road, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We had to find a truck stop, and we're...
On the road again?
Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're that far out, because Gold Rush was, like, pretty much right near Gillette anyway,
yeah,
but it's still the fact
But I was feeling hungry, me being a fat fuck. So
yeah, we're all fat fucks. I'm the skinniest of fat fucks, but I'm still feel like a fat fuck.
Screw you, Nate's like trimmed down. What the hell?
Hey, well, he's trimming down now, but before he was a fat fuck.
Yeah, trimming down like a fucking tree.
It's a big fucking tree.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, he's trimming me down.
Well, all the idiosyncrasies out of the way. We got a lot to cover. The first half of the Gold Rush tournament. So, as we said, there's a lot that has happened and that kind of started everything, especially in this half, the beginning half of the Gold Rush. Some stuff, as we covered before in the last episode, started in the test match series. Now we're going to move on to how everything kind of came with Gold Rush.
Right.
And that starts with the first ever announcement of our commissioner. He was secretive up until this point. Jim Cornette finally reveals himself as the commissioner of Weymouth Youth Wrestling.
And drops a bombshell about his partner in crime, if you will.
Yeah, Markiplier.
His partner in crime.
I don't know how these two get along. I think that's the whole reason, though.
The whole opposites attract.
Yeah, kind of deal.
So they're going for the Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman dynamic.
Except that working arrangement didn't go too well.
Yeah.
So with that being said, yeah, I guess the whole opposites attract. I don't even know. It's like there's really no comparison to it. This is a whole new dynamic. I think we're still trying to get used to this day, including the two that are working together,
and probably will be trying to get used to for a while to come.
That is fair.
I mean, obviously there have been some Mark decisions, there have been some Jim decisions, but it's all between, it all falls on Jim at the end of the day, but at the same time, like, he's not, Jim Cornette's not micromanaging everything. I think that's what I like, is that he's just kind of letting stuff go. There are some cases, and we'll get to it, where that might not be such a good idea, but,
Yeah, but he's delegating where he needs to.
Yes.
And that's good.
Yes. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about the first start of the whole, Gold Rush tournament, the first match, really, after the amazing promo in the beginning, introducing everybody that will be in the tournament, which
leads into a reveal of the whole entire roster that's going to be showing up.
Yep.
And a little bit of bits and pieces of all the previous things that have gone on, and some of the big moments between each competitor.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have the first match, which kind of started.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that shit does matter.
Yeah, it does.
You'd be surprised.
Context, that shit does matter.
The first start, the start
Character development, that shit matters.
Yeah,
depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah. Some characters are more to be desired than others.
Some people just like, plain. Where, some people look at a cheeseburger and they want to put ketchup on it. And some people decide to get a Baconator and never put fucking anything on it because they're a boring-ass individual that gets nothing on it because he goes, oh, I gotta be the fucking big man in this situation. Fuck you.
Here's looking at Casey.
I'm tired.
With the biggest shit-eating grin as we stare at him because he's the one who does not put anything on his Baconator.
The only person in the world that goes, yeah, I'll get that plain. How dare you?
Jim Cornette looks down at you with the biggest frown on his face.
I think
And I tell
him this.
And I tell him the same thing I tell you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're broken then.
You keep trying to fix it by going, I don't want mayonnaise.
Well, I mean, I don't like mayonnaise. Typically.
See, finally, I get some backup here.
I just take ketchup, but I like ketchup. I take ketchup and barbecue. It's great.
Let's just continue and not have people go,
I don't even know where we got here.
Besides, you're making me hungry again.
Let's talk about the first match of the Gold Rush tournament. Victor Sagat making his debut, his first official match with the company. He never even had a practice match because Jim Cornette was so impressed with him that he signed him right away and put him in the tournament. So it's Victor Sagat taking on veteran Michael X. Holy shit, what a fucking war this was to kick the whole tournament off.
Oh, yeah.
And what do we get?
We get Victor Sagat busting his back again.
We get a nightmare. We just get a fucking nightmare of a match.
It's fun.
Give me the ring.
Yeah, I like playing the ring.
Give me the ring.
It's a nice ring, Nathan.
Thank you.
It's a nice
Give
ring.
me the ring. Stop.
I'm a fidgety bitch, okay?
That's what you are.
You're a dick. Why are we talking
You want
about...
to have sex with me?
Shut up. Alright, can we like talk... Okay.
Can we like talk?
Can we just talk about
I don't know how to like talk, but I can guess how.
Let's talk about the match. Damn it. Alright. So the match... It was just brutal. Victor showed off a lot of Muay Thai expertise and enveloped in his wrestling ability. Sick-looking knee shots to Michael X's face. Just spin kick after spin kick.
After spin kick.
Yeah. And then you had Michael X retaliating, throwing Victor into pier steel steps, execution bomb into a ladder.
They hurt each other. The correct answer is they hurt each other. Pretty
Yeah.
goddamn bad. There were knees. There were power bombs. There were fucking tosses over each other's heads.
There was just a whole lot of fuck you in that match.
I think the story really being also, like, at the end of the day, you have a veteran and essentially a rookie.
The most overused line in this show's history.
But in this case, I think it really kind of set the tone for the tournament.
You know, right?
Yeah, but
It's
still.
super true.
But this is how the tournament started, and as essentially will go on with the tournament. And there's a theme here in the tournament as well. But then the match essentially ends because Michael X is like, well, I'm tired of this guy, and superplexes him into a ladder.
And then power bombs him.
Yeah.
And then submits him.
Yeah, with the Boston Crab just breaking his back
While
into...
in Boston. I don't know if that's supposed to be a slap in the face, but it works.
It feels like a lot of disrespect. Then you go from that to the next match, which is
Battle of the Tag Team Partners.
Battle of the Tag Team Partners. And that would not be the first time we had this on the episode, which, by the way, if you guys want to rewatch any of these episodes, the episode we're actually covering right now is Round 1, Episode 1 of the Gold Rush Tournament.
All of which is available on our YouTube channel.
Which I would
Indeed.
recommend going through the history and try to piece a lot of this on your own.
We're the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All the pieces are there. You just got to piece it together.
Oh, please don't say we have 45 hours worth of fucking movies that we have to go through.
Well, I
We
mean,
will by the end. We will by the end of it.
pretty much. But regardless, you had Chris Phoenix and Jones Meister, and man, if these guys are friends, oh boy, if
You
people
wouldn't know it
hate
by
each
this
other,
match.
you would not know it. No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't know they were friends by this match.
These two kick the crap out of each
I will say
other.
it like this. Them sons of bitches hurt.
Yeah.
Because my God, they just hurt each other so fucking bad.
Jones Meister clotheslines Chris Phoenix, and Chris Phoenix smacks his head off a pair of steel steps. Corkscrew knee to follow up on that. Then, a little bit later on in the match, Chris Phoenix hits a Phoenix splash through a table. Like, these two just kicked the crap out of each other.
And this is all before Jones Meister, if I remember correctly, pulled out Unrelenting Force for the first time.
Yes, he did. Unrelenting Force for the very first time. On top of that, you had Chris Phoenix doing a super kick party onto the barricade.
I thought you were about to say super gick, and I'm like, what the fuck is
Super
this?
kick.
Welcome to the super gick.
Well, I mean, it is a super kick.
I don't even want to know what that is.
The super gick.
But anyway, these guys just destroyed each other in this match. You had Jones Meister using a fan as like a support, giving him a crutch, smashed it over Chris Phoenix's back of the head. And then to end the whole match off, you had a Phoenix Plex. We don't talk about that. Anyway, we had Chris Phoenix.
All I'm going to say is it's a very tasteful image of one of our people.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. Chris Phoenix with the Phoenix Plex to
I feel like I got to clarify that just a little bit because that sounds kind of terrible if I don't clarify it. Okay, let me explain. One of our athletes decided to post a picture looking like a moron. And I had to show him. I had to show John here because my
Anyway, that's basically what it is. Chris Phoenix climbs up the ladder after the Phoenix Plex, and then a Phoenix splash.
Splash.
I mean, Jones Meister went splat, and so did Chris Phoenix. And that was it. 1, 2, 3, and Chris Phoenix went on to advance into the tournament.
On a slightly unrelated note, I was talking with Nate earlier. I think you said you wanted to start calling one of Jones Meister's other finishers Dragon Rend?
Yes.
Which one was that?
So Dragon Rend, based upon, his obsession with Skyrim specifically, is a move to bring somebody out of the sky back towards the ground. Now, I don't know what we would use it for, but hey, if we ever find the time on commentary, we have it there at our disposal. Because my God, we have sometimes had to come up with finishers on the spot when it comes to naming.
Well, actually, in this case, Jones Meister and Chris Phoenix named a lot of their names.
No shit. I couldn't fucking tell.
What he said.
Meister Stunner, Phoenix
Jones
Arrow, Jones Walker.
What asshole
Phoenix
names
Stretch.
himself into a move?
And they do.
Such dicks.
That's the point.
A little bit too much.
But anyway, that's beside the point. They raised their hands in victory, even though one of them won and the other one lost. But they still kind of raised their hands up in respect after shaking hands. Chris Phoenix would then go on to take on Michael Axe in the second round, which we will get to that. Then we go on to match 3, which is Ian Lancaster and Matt Harrington. So,
Matt Harrington? He's just running around. Well, I mean, he's all dressed in white.
Fuck up and go with it.
They gotta catch it.
Shut the fuck up and go with it. So,
I thought Casey was bad with fucking up his words. It's gotten to that point, huh?
As time goes on,
He's just slowly forming its way down the river.
Just shut up.
What's scary is you're next in line.
Oh, hell no. I'm on the fucking boat trying to go over that river. Oh, wait.
We have these two. So it starts off very technical, which kind of shocked me in Ian's case, because Ian doesn't look like a technical wrestler, and then all of a sudden you see him start doing these really impressive, wrestling maneuvers, like Olympic slam, hatch suplex, all these different, flashy-esque kind of moves that you wouldn't normally see from a guy like him. And he was hanging with a really good tactician in there, in Matt Harrington. So that was my first observation. And then we get to the later observation, which was just a whole lot of pain. Holy shit.
I think let's put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
Let's just take that, put a pin in it, and save it for later. Take the pain put a pin in it and let's wait what happens next.
Well,
because I'll say this match is technical as hell.
it is very technical in the beginning. It shocked me.
I was sitting in the back watching this with Eddie Kelly just before that match, and I was looking at him and I'm like, oh shit, you guys might actually have a tough act to follow. And he's like, son, just sit and watch.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later. Joker's Carousel onto a steel chair kicks off the hardcore portion of this match. Then it still isn't enough to keep Matt Harrington. You'll notice a pattern on how a lot of these people just won't stay down, and especially and it starts in the beginning.
It's called a fight for a reason.
It's a fight to get a world championship. Yes. A fight to get to be the first world champion. This is pretty much what this tournament is. As time goes on, Matt Harrington then goes and runs away, but then he psychs him out, comes back, hits a heel kick on Ian Lancaster, grabs a title belt that Ian brought with him. That it was a fucking title belt replica, and then just smashes it over his face. Blood sprays into the crowd. If the crowd was bloodthirsty, they got their money's worth.
Surprise, vampires!
And Philadelphia, eat your hearts out.
Yeah, exactly. Then you had Ian do some crazy shit in this. You also had English pedigree on steel chairs by Matt Harrington. You had the friggin' elbow drop right to the skull of Ian through a table. You had Ian Lancaster climb all the way to the top of the ladder, smash his opponent with a forearm, then hit him in the head with a steel-toed boot with a punt kick. Still not enough to put Matt Harrington down. Ladies and gentlemen, by this point, Nate and I are just looking at this like, what the fuck is happening? How are they still going?
Oh, I knew it was happening. I was just pretending so that way you felt like you were included.
No, there was a point in the match where you're like, come on!
Oh, yeah. Because it was getting sickening to look at with the amount of times that these dumbasses just hurt each other.
Yeah.
They just hurt each other. There's no way.
Double underhook suplex into a ladder and steel steps.
You wish it was a superplex.
Yeah, it was double underhook. It was worse. Then on top of that, Ian Lancaster had probably two of the sickest moves in the entire match. The ladder it's there. It's just kind of leaning on the pair of steps. And it's right near Ian's target range for a spike DDT from the top rope. Imagine the scene, ladies and gentlemen, or you could go back and do the smart thing and just watch the match back. You have these two. Matt Harrington's feet are on the ropes. He's in a headlock formation, so he's just like horizontal. Ian plants his head into the corner of the support beam, still kicks out, and Ian's like, okay, puts the ladder into the corner, hits it belly to belly, still not enough. He hits the Joker's Carousel, you think that's going to be it, and then the lights go out.
And I went, what the hell is happening?
And everybody, including us, went, shit.
Yeah, and we hear...
shit.
And then I heard Nick Switchblades laugh, and I went, oh.
Now remember, we gotta let this be known. By that point, it is no disqualification rule, so everything was preset.
Yeah.
Until a future event that
and even
filmed live in front of everybody. It's not like lights go out, something happens.
No, yeah,
not much that really can be done about that because nobody saw what the hell happened.
No one saw what happened.
But we could kind of get an idea or a guess what really did happen.
Yeah, Switchblade was involved somehow, some way. There's just
I think we heard a chair shot ring out.
Something of that nature.
It really, it's one of those nights that the crowd was so loud I could barely hear what was going on.
And I couldn't see. No one could see. And that this, it was just ridiculous. Then, Harrington would capitalize with the sonic screwdriver once again. Oh, and by the way, need I forget, he hit that like twice onto the exposed steel of the turnbuckle. And then this time he hit it on the ladder. Went to climb the ladder, hit an elbow drop right to the head of Ian to effectively eliminate him. Because, again, just the amount of pain, the pain threshold on Ian's.
Ian was unconscious by this point, and that is not easy to do.
Yeah. So, Harrington moved on when he probably shouldn't have, but he still did. Then we get to the final match of Round 1, Episode 1.
Yet another battle of the tag team partners.
This would be part 2 of the Battle of the Tag Team Partners. Eddie Kelly versus Brandon Curtis. And I don't know if we touched on this last episode, but if we didn't, we'll cover it again.
Let's continue.
The way this match kind of went about is Brandon Curtis won the first ever Blood Money ladder match, and as such, he would be able to pick his opponent for the Gold Rush tournament. He would end up picking his tag team partner, the Undead Soldier, Eddie Kelly. So he's like, can the teacher once again beat the student, or can the student outmaster the teacher?
Which, depending on the way that you look at it, could be either way.
Yeah.
But in this type of match, it was more of a format more than anything else. It was more of a two individuals that wanted to fight because they really wanted to fight.
Yeah.
They have never had a singles competitor match against one another ever.
And as
no recorded piece ever that they've ever gone one-on-one.
Yep, and as I've made clear quite a few times over the course of, especially since Gold Rush.
Oh, that's your text
my
on?
phone notification.
Anyway, continue.
Which is also quite fitting.
I hope that the helpful eye knows what that's from, because
that kind of speaks to this match here.
Yes.
Yeah, it literally came out of fucking nowhere, man. Nobody was expecting him. The goddamn thunder struck him all the way.
When
he hit that goddamn apron, that sound echoed in my head. All I heard was KO, 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 and the dude looked like he was splitting the fucking quarters in the ground.
Yes.
His shoulder ended up popping out of his socket after he hit, because keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when the thunderstruck is being hit from the top, Eddie's shoulder smashes off the apron and completely dislocates.
Just barely misses hitting the ropes.
1, 2, 3, it's over. Because the man's out.
Yes, he's
pretty
much out cold.
But before that even happened, it was a star-making performance for Eddie Kelly.
It really was.
Hits neckbreaker onto a freaking crutch. He had a scoop slam through a table and a ladder.
As I've made clear many times since Gold Rush, you never hit anybody harder in the ring than your friends.
Yeah, and Eddie with the discus lariat as well.
Unless they're your enemies.
Well, we'll get into that when we get to Immortal.
They're big fuckers in your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, you had Future Shock DDTs onto steel chairs. You had a discus lariat by Eddie onto a ladder. You had probably one of the sickest rolling thunders I've ever seen by Brandon Curtis, because he comboed that thing heavily.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not try this at home.
Check this match out if you have a chance. This is Round 1, Episode 1.
It's
the main event.
It's incredible.
Is incredible. It also hurts to watch, but if you get past that, it's a hell of a match to watch.
It's one of those things that here's how the format kind of works. Singles competitor against two people that have not gone one-on-one ever. Rookie goes up against somebody who isn't a rookie. With, what would it be, 5-1 at this point?
Yeah, by that point it was pretty. I don't know if it was 5-1, but it was
5-1 when it comes to right now. That would be What would it be, 3-1 at that point?
I think it might have been
3-1 odds.
It's something
very, very high, but it was just you're trying to fight this 66%.
It's insane. Is the point? The guys don't lose often. When they do, it's because they're in a war.
Tag team versus tag team members going up one-on-one. Single competitor, tag team members going one-on-one. It's a very interesting starter episode if you're trying. Honestly, that's why we've said before, it's like you could physically skip most of the test match stuff. Go straight into this and you don't miss a damn beat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But again,
there are a few test matches that you should watch back.
It is good to hear this.
Brandon versus Sean being one of them.
Brandon versus Sean, Nick versus Ashworth.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's why this first podcast exists, so that way you can listen to this and kind of get an idea. If you're not like, okay, I need to know what the hell's going on all the way up to Immortal, that's what these are for.
Yep.
So we're going on to the next episode.
Next episode
Round 1, Episode 2.
Round 1, Part 2. Pretty much what I'm going to say is Book 1. We have Book 1 that goes into Part 2, Chapter 2. And Chapter 2 is fucking nuts.
Oh, this
was
David versus Goliath, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Starr versus Little Andre. Holy hell.
That match, Johnny looked like he was done. He was getting tossed like a fucking rag doll.
Matt Nova was right next to me watching this match. He's like, I gotta go help him. It's like, dude, it ain't worth it. You'll just get yourself killed.
Yeah, it would have been 2-on-1, and I think at that point Jim would have had to step in. But it's one of those situations that when you watch it, it's fucking brutal.
It's brutal.
But Johnny pulls a win like that. I didn't know.
Well, and we'll get to that, but there's some brutal spots in this,
I don't
ladies and
think we
gentlemen.
really have to go. It's one of those things that you just need to watch.
Johnny pulls off one of the sickest stunts I've ever seen him do. Goes to the top of the ladder and hits a corkscrew comet from the top of the ladder. And this is after getting the shit kicked out of him for most of the match. And it's just not enough to put the big man down. Andre comes back up, and then he super kicks Johnny's head into the ladder. And this is the start of you seeing the MO of the Maggies. They didn't care who the hell they would hurt. And this was really the start of Johnny's head trauma, really.
Well, it's more the factor that we get to see what a little Andre that's cutting loose looks like. Because we've seen him go up against John Gray, and they've had some matches. Twice. They've had their matches, and John has usually been able to turn the tide. Has been able to equal out. This is one of those situations where little Andre got to use him like a toy.
Man. The weight difference was unbelievable.
Well, it's more the fact when he hits the fucking pump handle.
He tossed him like a torpedo.
Fall-away pump handle slam?
He just tosses him over his head like a missile. And he
right through a ladder twice. Man. Twice.
It's brutal. It's not even like the worst move that he could have done. It's the chest kick into the ladder. That goddamn chest kick hurts.
Yeah. Johnny went through a lot of pain.
With almost like a super kick, but he hits him with a super kick.
But Johnny fought his ass off, man. He had a side effect on a steel chair. He had, twist of fate on a steel chair. He hit everything under the sun to try and get this guy knocked out.
That he possibly could hit.
And at the very end, the heart prevailed. And as little Andre, and this is, I think, the biggest mistake he could have made, he went to the top. Johnny catches him in midair into the Canadian crossface, and he wrenches as hard as he can and does not let go and taps out little Andre.
And you two jumped out of your seats.
I couldn't believe it. Not only did we think little Andre may have had this in the bag because he was going to the top rope, we didn't think Johnny was going to get him in a submission and tap him out.
Well, this
was a complete shock.
The beauty of that moment is that we get to see Johnny use his head.
He did.
He used his head in the match. He waited for little Andre to tire himself out.
Not only did he use his head, he used his head when he most desperately needed to.
It wasn't just hard.
He went into an instinct. He went into that instinct of survival. He went to a survival instinct, and he waited for the opportunity to pull something out of nowhere that little Andre was not going to be able to break out of.
No.
Especially since, think about it, like most of that match. Yes, little Andre is getting a lot of leeway in that match. He pulls out a lot of shit out of nowhere.
Samoan pile driver into the steel chair just to be, or into the sledgehammer, just to name one of them.
And Johnny takes a beating. I think, honestly, you want to see where the concussion starts, it's that goddamn move, because that camera angle is amazing for that spot.
That's also frightening.
The spike pile driver into a sledgehammer?
Yeah, that's also the megaton press, as we're now calling it.
Yep,
press.
megaton press.
But it's when you see it that you get to see. I think Johnny had a plan going in there.
He definitely did.
He had to.
Where it's like, I'm going to let this guy, I don't care what he does to me, I have to wear him on. He had to Marciano the fight.
Yeah,
he had to go for... he's going to hit me with a shit ton of headshots the whole goddamn fight. But I need to go for that body. I need to make sure that I can wear him down. And I think it was probably the perfect idea to just take some of these moves.
The difference between Johnny and Marciano for the purposes of this match...
One is wrestling?
Well, besides that.
Yes.
We thought Johnny was dead pretty much the entire match.
Yes.
Once Marciano pulled his hands away from his chin, his opponents knew they were fucked.
Yes.
Johnny, the minute he got up, little Andre knew he was fucked.
Johnny pulled a lucky right hook and knocked his opponent on his ass.
Except it wasn't a right hook. He tapped him out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, based upon
It's a metaphor. Just go with it.
I know. And then Johnny was celebrating, and then, like a sore sport, like the Maggie Daddies are, little Andre takes a kendo stick
and beats his
and
ass.
keeps beating him after he's won the match. So Johnny's going in to his next match with some pretty ridiculous injuries because of this dude. And, you know, to avoid any more damage, because Lord knows what Andre would have done next, Kyle and Jason G come down to chase out little Andre and, you know, protect their friend, essentially. You know, with Jason G, he brought him back. Johnny did. And then with Kyle and Johnny have been friends for years.
Yes.
So then we're just going to stand there and let this guy just beat on him.
Yes, and it's one of those things that shows that our athletes care about one another. And it shows what, even if it's not in a positive light, what they're willing to do.
And also, for the record, and by the way, because I know they're saying Matt was with you, why didn't Matt come out? Well, Matt, by that point, saw that Johnny won, got psyched, and then went in there to go change for his next match. He had no idea what was going on until they told him after.
Right.
And he was pissed, and then we almost had a pole apart brawl happen between Andre and Nova.
Boys and girls of the not knowing how wrestling companies work format. Number one, just to put this out there so that way we're all understanding, the backstage is pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
The backstage is a pretty fucking big place, just saying.
Yeah.
Where a lot of shit needs to get done.
The backstage isn't just gorilla position, folks. I mean...
We're not just sitting there in the locker room all night playing grab ass, okay?
Dude. For the record, again, Matt had no idea until after the fact. We almost had a pull-up brawl between Nova and him, little Andre, and Jim and Mark had to like separate them and all that and get a bunch of security involved, so they wouldn't come to blows. So yeah, there goes that essentially, and then we get to the next match, which is the debut of two superstars, and Jonathan Brady
and
Brett Mention. A mat wrestler who had a very high acumen when it came to his mat wrestling ability versus a former college football tight end. So
tight end? I thought he was a linebacker.
Was he a linebacker?
He was a linebacker.
Linebacker, right.
You gotta think his body height, his body.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
sorry.
He probably could have been a really damn good tight end.
Yeah, but he was a linebacker, right. He was a linebacker, college linebacker. Two different styles here colliding, essentially.
One with not really that high of a wrestling background
versus a guy with a very high wrestling background. Yes. And it showed here. Because
and that's the important bit to this whole situation, is that we get to see those two different styles. We get to see somebody with primary strengths and somebody that's going to be focusing on that game. That's going to be focusing on putting his opponent down and doing as much damage as physically possible.
Yep.
And Brett is definitely one of the scariest athletes that we have in the company when it comes to dealing damage over the course of a match.
But let it not be said that John Brady was without a few guns in his arsenal.
I mean,
yeah, well, let's talk about some of these guns here. So we have, right off the gate, Brett mentioned go to the top rope, and I'm like, what? Goes and hits a blockbuster, smashes his head over the title belt. I'm like, okay. All right, we're gonna go.
It's gonna be one of those matches.
It's gonna be one of those matches. Okay.
It's gonna be one of those.
And then, as the match progressed, you have John Brady smashing Brett Mention's back into a trash can, completely flattening it. He hits a fisherman twisting suplex onto a ladder, but then John Brady would recover, hit a gut wrench powerbomb, and these are just some of the key spots that happens in this match.
Gut wrench powerbomb.
Gut wrench powerbomb into a ladder. Back of the head hits right off it. And then he has Brett Mention.
That was a goddamn fast gut wrench power.
I have no idea.
Friggin' nowhere, dude.
Then the next part of this match, the match is kicking into high gear at this point.
And then the spear.
We see it. We're about to get to that before you just say the spear here.
The spear.
So Nathan and I are just kind of sitting there, and Brett just lays Brett Mention out right in front of our table.
Yes, I bet Brett lays Brett Mention out.
I mean, John lays Brett right in front of our table. See, this is what happens when you keep fucking interrupting me, so stop.
Sorry, did you have an opinion? I don't give a fuck.
Anyway, John is now going in there, and he sets up a ladder
Laying across the top.
And if people aren't familiar with what happens with that, I have, because I've seen a lot of wrestling matches, and I know what's about to happen. We've seen Shelton
Don't even
Benjamin.
lie. You weren't expecting him.
No.
You weren't expecting him to make it.
That's what I'm about to say. Because we're used to athletic guys like a Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin, Elix Skipper, people
You
like
know,
that.
Guys with a tight body frame but are really short and have a lean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a former college football linebacker to do his best impersonation of a fucking airplane.
To fly through the air like a damn albatross.
And then spear Brett Mention through our table.
And hit him with the...
My headset completely came off.
And hit him with enough strength that it looked like he was run over by a goddamn combine harvester.
Brett Mention's out.
That's oddly specific.
Brett Mention's out, but John Brady, by this point...
a very big combine harvester.
Which, by the way, and this was one of the biggest mistakes I think Brady made, was he was using his head a lot in the match. And
then
he used headbutts. So when he did this spear, people got to remember, his head smashed off the table when he did this stupid spear.
Dude, Owen Finch was sitting next to me. He goes, dude...
I thought I was the Birdman. That's
pretty much exactly what he said.
It was like, I'm the Birdman. What the hell's going on here?
John Brady just became the albatross.
Oh my God, yeah, that sounds like something he would say. He did.
He really did.
But he's shaking off the cobwebs, so he was not able to capitalize, and Brett was able to kick out.
And
so then, when that wasn't enough, Brady tries to go for another spear, and then he goes to the top rope, and then the next thing you know, and another cat's finisher happens, essentially. But this time, it's a strike right to the face.
And Nate, I think you alluded to this in the very first podcast the three of us ever did together. Had John Brady been wearing his helmet, he might have been able to pull out that win.
He very well could have.
For some fucking reason, he went, I'm going to take this thing off before he...
Even though it's no disqualification.
Dumbass.
What the heck?
Maybe it's because of visibility more than anything
Probably,
else.
yeah.
It could be.
Maneuverability, visibility.
Regardless.
It's still fucking stupid.
Brett Mention catches Brady out of the air with a bull hammer and wins. And we find out later that not only was he a mat wrestler, but that he's also a former, bare-knuckle boxer. So that made a lot of sense why he would take a move from one of the greatest British wrestling legends, the bull hammer.
Let's be honest, he just really wanted to elbow somebody in the fucking head.
Yeah.
He really wanted to elbow him right in the goddamn head.
Now keep in mind,
some lean when he does it. He pulls that fucking elbow far back and he hits with full speed.
And ladies and gentlemen, for the record, this was pre-Brett Mention joining the Maggie Daddy Men. So there was a lot of respect after this match, I want to point out. There was a lot of people giving Brett Mention kudos in the back.
And well-deserved kudos after that match.
And then he walked away. Just walked away, went to the back. He's like, told you. He's like, well, all right, confidence. I dig it. And at least that's what I heard from people. Like, yeah, he's got some confidence and he seems very antisocial, but he's still good. Like, that's what people thought. And, that's what James Archangel thought. That's what Johnny Starr thought. That's what Jason G thought. That's what a lot of these guys thought.
Hell, that's what I thought.
That's what a lot of people thought. I thought that. Nathan thought that. We all thought that. And we'll get to what happens later on, which turns the tide of that thinking.
Yes, and it's when you take a look at that match, you kind of see the groundwork of somebody who will later become a real problem.
Yeah.
Later on, you could see with his move set and style that he will be in the future become a problem.
Yeah.
And not just to the athletes in the ring, but also to anybody nearby. He's a pain in the ass. There's no denying it. In any case.
From there,
I don't even want to talk about that until we have to get to it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it at all, quite honestly, because it's disturbing. But next match we get on to is the man we mentioned before who wanted to beat the hell out of Lil Andre, Matthew Nova, versus Azareth Smith.
Which is a match. It's a very good technical match.
You got all right. I could go for spot, but I really can't.
Yes, you can, because you could say a moonsault after moonsault.
Oh yeah, moonsault after moonsault after moonsault, which is exactly what Owen said backstage.
Moonsault after moonsault.
Can somebody make that like a remix
meme or something?
Can I please
Remix
have that as my
please.
ringtone? Just moonsault after moonsault after moonsault.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this is actually listening to you two call this match is what made me think maybe I can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be a moron.
Maybe I could be a moron.
Oh, I could definitely be a moron.
Because we're pretty moronic. Anyway, as time goes on, you have the moonsault off. You have the moonsault off. You have these guys countering each other like ninjas. You had a death from above onto a steel chair. You had steel step shots.
Say it correct. Ninja.
Ninja,
They are
whatever.
ninjas.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah, death from above by Azareth Smith onto Matthew Nova on a steel chair. And it wasn't like the steel chair was intact. The freaking frame of the chair came off. And all that was left was the frame. The freaking seat was off. So he hits his head and neck right off the thing. So Matt, in retaliation, decides, I'm going to hit you with the steps. I'm going to hit you with the steps again. I'm going to hit you with the steps a third time until you're necked. Which is exactly what happened. Then Matt Nova hits the sick-looking kick. Like, probably one of the most brutal kicks I think I've ever seen in the business. It's right up there, because, man,
it's definitely,
that kick...
It's somewhere.
It's just brutal. You could hear Azareth's jaw just jack. Like, it just went...
Yeah, I was gonna
all
say,
throughout the arena.
I was going to say, I don't know about you guys, but I heard something crack.
And as time went on... Yeah, Matt hits this sick-looking swanton, which he calls the Nebula Bomb. And he's flying through the air. Like, I haven't seen hang time. I thought, like, people like Jeff Hardy would have great hang time, and then Nova hits it. And I'm like,
thought
wow.
you were about to say, get ready to fly. I'm like, no.
I mean, yeah, get ready to fly. That's exactly what happened. Just, cue AJ Styles' TNA music. Because he did fly a lot. One of the spots that really...
Get ready to cry.
One of the spots that really kind of got me, and it was just brutal to look at, was the inverted STO, the SOS version, right onto concrete by Matt Nova.
How about the...
Or no, not Matt Nova, Azareth onto Nova.
Head kick?
I already talked about the spinning head kick.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. God damn it. Pay attention. Take your fucking phone out of your face, and maybe you'll hear me say it.
I'll put my fucking super glue my phone to my face.
Anyway.
I'm guessing I didn't hear the spin kick. My bad.
I did. I talked about the spin kick. I talked about Azareth getting his jaw jacked.
Cuntosaurus.
Then you have these two with the probably a light bulb moment right here. Just like you had to have captured it at the perfect moment. And I don't know how. I mean, you could probably screen cap it, but if you're there live in the arena, you would have had to take it at the right time.
The correct answer is...
These two pass by each other, try to hit each other.
And it looks amazing.
It's amazing. Matt tries to go for a spin kick. And then Azareth tries to go for a clothesline, flipping clothesline. And then they both flip out of the air.
And you could see Azareth
they pass each other.
Him. He fucking pushes him away in the air.
And then Matt Nova hits a clothesline to try and capitalize off that ridiculous ninja moment. Yeah. And then he hits the German suplex into the ladder. As time goes on, Azareth is getting fed up, hits one death from above. Matt kicks out. Hits another death from above onto a ladder. Still kicks up. It's another death from above onto a ladder and a pair of steel steps. Matt will not stay down.
I'm going to pause you right there. Take that, pause it. Let's keep it there. Did you know that lawn darts are illegal in Massachusetts?
Well,
hey, guess what?
Not in Pittsburgh, apparently.
Yeah, because that's all he did. He played fucking human lawn darts, and he was the fucking... Matt's head was the point that lands towards the ground.
So, Azareth has had enough by this point, and he just straight up slugs him to the point where Matt's dazed. He puts him on the turnbuckle, and the next thing we know is no, he's not going to go for it. The ladder's laying in the diagonal across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to do this. He's going to kill him. He's going to kill him if he goes for this. Sure enough, the man kills him. Death from above, from the top rope, and smashes his head, his neck, and his upper back into a ladder laying across from one turnbuckle to the other, or
So would
essentially.
You say, and I hate to put it like this, would you say he put the hurt on him?
Yeah, and that's what won him the match, so I would say yeah.
Yeah, he put the hurt on him.
Matt
bad.
ended up having to miss everything up until Gold Rush, because he was out of it, man. He was just out of it.
Oh, I don't know, when you get your head bounced like a fucking basketball off the ground, I think if you have that moment where you go, I smell pudding, by the time that you hit the ground, yeah, you have the right to, like, not wrestle after, like, a couple weeks.
Matt has taken some brutal...
Dude, Johnny, like, pushed me out of the way as I was going to the door to leave the arena that night.
Yeah, because he went to check on his friend after the match, after Azareth left the ring.
No, it's because Casey kept trying to steal his food.
That was later. Don't get shit confused.
Jesus Christ.
That's just no denial, like a fucking...
Yeah, I mean, if people couldn't tell he was a roadie prior to this, I mean, I don't know what that tells you, but yeah, I mean...
They don't feed us roadies particularly well, all right?
Well, now you're fed very well, because you make
feed you?
some money.
Son of a
Make
bitch.
some moonies on the commentary booth. Anyway, as we continue here, we thought that was going to be the end of the night. I personally loved this match probably more than the main event that we're about to get to, but it's not like the next match that we're going to talk about is bad, but this match was just, if you want to see two of the very best high flyers go at it, you got it here. You definitely have it here.
God, James Archangel and Luca Lucky.
Yeah, the tough act to follow. And although
Brutal.
I don't know if these guys followed it, but they came pretty damn close.
For those of you who don't know, James Archangel is kind of a hybrid mixture, leaning towards the speedster / high flying nature, whereas Luca Lucky is just the guy who says, I like to do da puncha.
Except he doesn't just do the punch, but we can't even talk about... Before we even talk about
He's
the match here, can we talk...
We have one-handed punch buggy. Okay?
We have to talk about
the promo that Luca Lucky
he cut before the match.
The first time WYW's really done a promo package, let's be honest.
Well, no, it's not even
besides the intro to round one, but yeah.
That's the intro. I'm saying like an actual...
Like
it was a backstage promo. Zach Wesseling's there, and... Well, we get to see what kind of character Luca Lucky is, and then he's
And we realize he's the best drinking buddy of all time.
He's
because
out of his fucking mind.
Because he probably may pay for the tab depending on how fucking crazy he gets during the night.
Provided you haven't stolen his gin in the past, Nathan.
Who? Me? Yeah, me. I'm not denying it.
Can you just not do that anymore?
Do what anymore?
I don't like seeing Luca Lucky get angry.
I think it's...
I like him happy.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
You think it's hilarious. I don't.
Actually, you might have to cut that. I just realized this is going to take place before that particular podcast. We'll talk about that in the post-mortem podcast.
We're not even... No, but you could still say he stole his gin prior to it, dude.
Remember, these are all going to be released like a couple days before.
It doesn't even matter. Like, yeah, he could still say that. It's fine. He could still say, oh, yeah, I took his gin. And that's not going to ruin anything.
We'll just cut it either way.
No, I'll keep it in. It's fine. It's not like we just said, oh, Luca Lucky said straight up off the books.
I became the internet champion.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Anyway, we're going back.
2, 1.
Stop making him angry. I'm tired of seeing him angry. I want to see him happy.
It's hilarious.
Shut up. It's not. You're not the one that has to deal with it. He comes to me. He comes to me. First. Shut up. Fucking meme.
A bee?
Shut up. Oh, both of you. Just stop.
See, you're the one that keeps walking in on this shit. You really
anyway, the point is, if you guys have not seen this promo, Luca Lucky straight up walks off the shot to talk to God.
And then he comes back.
He's talking to...
a rosary bead.
He's talking to a magical man that lives in the sky, okay?
And then proceeds to say, yeah, God's on my side, but James Archangel, you're fucked.
You're right. Fuck there, aren't you?
Don't try to do Loco Lucky. Come on now. Nobody could do Loco Lucky but Loco Lucky. Anyway, Loco Lucky.
For trying. Shut up.
He goes off, and then Nate and I are just left in bewilderment as he's coming down the ramp.
You two didn't know whether to shit or wanted to watch.
Yeah, it was different. It was very, very different. Anyway, as stuff is continuing here, the match happens after the two make their entrance, all that pizzazz. James Archangel's like, doesn't know what to expect. He's like, yeah, let's go. Let's have a great match.
Headbutt. Bam.
He's like, oh no, I'm winning this match. This is basically what he said. Disaster kick. Knee right to the face. Just starts pummeling this man. Then the match starts picking up into a whole nother gear with Luke, and Luke is dominating like the first quarter of the match. Up until the stump pile drivers hit.
Yep.
Onto a steel chair.
Yep, and then which is the point where James Archangel says, okay, fine, I guess we're doing this now.
And then he hits Archangel would pick up momentum back with a corkscrew splash.
Pain.
He also hits He also hits a neck breaker onto the chair, and then the match, I would say, probably takes place like 30% in the ring, and the rest of it was outside of the damn ring.
Yes.
You had Loco Lucky reveal his double impress finisher right on this match, and it's through a table.
Oh, God.
Face first goes Archangel, and the table just implodes.
He's such a dick.
But he's an Irish dick.
As Archangel's just laying there, he has the instinctive to kick out, and I don't know how. Again, I just don't know how these guys have the resiliency that they do. And shut up, by the way, Casey.
Because the carpet matches red.
Shut the hell up, both of you.
You'd have to ask him.
I don't really want to. Just leave that one.
Regardless, you had these two just kick the crap out of each other. I can't even recall spots except for pretty much the ending sequence, which was a spine buster onto the steps, and then Loco Lucky tries to go for an elbow drop and misses completely. Then Archangel's like, all right, well, I'm about to hit you with a damnation bomb then. He hits the damnation bomb onto a ladder and the steel steps twice. And he won the match after he pretty much just knocked the wind out of Loco Lucky. In process, he would be sending a message to Azure Smith, who essentially sent a message to Matt, using Matt Nova with a lawn dart. With the lawn dart that we talked about, the death from above from the top.
Yeah, the greatest thing we've seen on
So, yeah, that happened. And Archangel advances. Holy crap, what a freaking war to close out the show. So, that was episode 2, ladies and gentlemen. Now we move on to 3.
Actually, why don't we take a commercial break?
Oh, yeah.
Because those are kind of a thing.
Yeah, we can do that.
Those are important. We need the money.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this this timely, definitely not because we can, commercial break.
We'll be right back.
After these messages.
Oh, God.
After these messages.
Hey, you even finished that. I'm leaving the car.
We'll be right back.
Alright, bye. Ah, shit. I can't.
You trash!
Haha, you retarded.
Labeled one of the best rock bands in recent memory and future rock and roll Hall of Famers, Disturbed are back with their newest album, Immortalized, featuring their hit single, The Vengeful One. Other tracks on this album include Fire It Up, Save Our Last Goodbye, Legion of Monsters, The official WYW Gold Rush quarterfinal theme songs. Never Wrong. And The Brave and the Bold. And the official premiere event, WYW Immortal theme songs. The Light. And Immortalized. Download the full album now on iTunes and on Spotify. Disturbed, Immortalized. Proudly sponsored by Weymouth Youth Wrestling.
Home. It's where your story comes to life. Trust CertaPro painters to create the perfect setting as each new chapter unfolds. We're easy to work with, and our professional painters deliver the highest level of service. So wherever life leads, your home follows. CertaPro painters. We do painting. You do life. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com.
Proudly sponsored by Weymouth Youth Wrestling.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
And still waiting on Jonathan.
We'll wait.
Da, 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 da. It's not even the right song, but I don't care. Da, 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 da.
Just fucked up my rhythm. Get your ass back in here. Your glasses wearing. Oh, there he is, you fuck.
Are you guys done?
For now.
You sure?
I will never be done.
Fuck you.
You will never stop me.
Alright. Are we back off break or what?
Yeah, we're back off break.
Yeah.
You just came in right on time.
Oh, okay. I got myself a drink because I need a drink when I'm with these two.
Yeah, but do you know about TURTLE power?
God.
That is not a reference I expected you, of all people, to make.
What TURTLE?
Power. Hey.
I'm a fucking.
Can we
nerd.
move on to round 1, episode 3, please?
Maybe, but not right now.
We're doing it now.
Okay.
Screw you. Okay, so round 1, episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. Yay.
Right about where I came into the company.
Yes, well, you were already into the company, but you were trying to transition into the commentary role.
Yeah.
But first they had you as Ring Bell Boy.
Promotion.
You were a Ring Bell Boy.
I am Ring Bell Boy. You will not stop me.
So I'm just sitting there, and the timekeeper's there. Yeah. Ding, 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 yippee.
And he gets the front row seat to all the carnage that happens.
Which was awesome, but terrifying at the same time.
It was an evolutionary role. You started in the back, then you made your way to the front. Now you have a headset on, and now I want to kill myself every time we do commentary. The amount of all the gay shit that's gonna come out of your mouth.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow, he took a big load to the face. Oh my God! Stop.
Well,
Just
except
stop.
he hasn't got that bad yet. Anyway.
That's the fucking key word. Yet.
Anyway. As we were talking about, round 1.
Episode 3.
So, it starts off with a big boy match. Sean Maverick.
Well, now who's being the gay one?
What? They're big guys. What's gay about that?
Well, yeah, what's good about that, man? I don't know.
Big boy?
Yeah, they were children.
I don't know why you're talking about big boys. That sounds pretty gay, Casey.
That Alice in Wonderland hole that you're fucking digging really deep.
Fuck you both with a stale baguette.
He's not just saying any baguette, a stale baguette. That's pretty fucking gay.
I thought what you were gonna say was, you want to fuck me?
Yeah, right?
Excuse me?
Anyway, besides that, Besides those little idiosyncrasies between the three of us there.
Stop saying that word.
I'm saying
It's a real word. Shut up.
Oh, but he sounds like an idiot when he says it.
Hey, I like the word shut up. Oh well.
Like fucking.
You like saying high octane shit. Why can't I say idiosyncrasies?
Okay, hold on. Pause. Wait a second. I said it once.
Twice.
You asked twice. I said it twice. You assholes keep egging me on to fucking say it.
Because it's a good line.
Well then, fuck you for complaining about it.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of high octane shit, we're gonna talk about that next. It's Ori Dre versus Sean Maverick, as we said before. Battle of the Big Boys. Holy shit. This match was a massacre.
Yes,
in a very disturbingly beautiful way, I guess.
You've seen beautiful massacres?
I'm saying it's
like a
awesome.
car. It's like a car wreck.
Yeah, it's a car wreck that you can't look away from, essentially. Where should I start off? Oh, yeah.
How about the fact that Sean Maverick broke this man's face 5 seconds into the match?
Oh, yeah. With a punch that was heard around the world.
I shot her around the world with a big...
Devotion.
Is that Flight of the Conchords?
No, that's... We're giving up on you.
Oof.
I
don't know all my music. Shut up.
It's not a music. Well, I mean, technically it is, but it's not necessarily.
It's not Flight. It's not Flight of the Conchords.
No.
You ever heard of Schoolhouse Rock?
Yeah.
Not that particular part of Schoolhouse Rock.
What? How do you know of Schoolhouse Rock but not know that song?
The only one I
shot her around the world?
The only one I ever heard growing up was Grammar Rock.
Oh my god.
Never had America Rock.
Motherfucker, you need a conjunction junction. Fix your fucking function right now.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
this coming from the man who was overloaded on adverbs. You know, WYW, get your adverbs here.
Actually, the correct thing is wheel.
Wheel.
Isn't that what it would just be as a word?
Pretty much.
Oh,
anyway.
Wow. Wheel. It would be wheel or wow. It's all it is.
Anyway.
It's beside the point.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about this match. I don't know where to start. Oh yeah, the brutal choke slam, bad omen slam reveal through a pair of steel steps. Ow, Maverick's back has to be hurting from that one.
No, it didn't.
And then you had freaking Sean pull out a move that I hadn't seen in years when it came to a muscle buster. You had Ori pull off...
And luckily it's not the original muscle buster that he used to do.
Yeah,
where he puts you on his shoulders, spreads your legs eagle, and fucking jumps.
Yeah. It's just that he brought you straight down as fast as he could.
Yeah, it's like...
Onto a pair of steel steps.
It's like a plane crashing into a moat.
And then Sean has the ladder. Ori escapes the ring. Next thing I know, I'm like, Ori's got a crutch. Sean has a ladder, and I'm thinking to myself, the ladder's going to win every time. Well, then, Ori decides,
I'm going to throw this fucking thing.
He threw the crutch in Sean Maverick's face.
With pinpoint accuracy.
Then he stun guns Sean, and then hits a back suplex onto a pair of steel steps.
And then after that,
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this would not be the end of the steel steps and ladder usage. Then Sean hits a fall-away slam.
Boys and girls, let me
through a pair of steps and ladder.
I'm going to cut my friend here in half really quick. What the fuck?
I was just playing with the log.
Stop playing with shit! Put your fucking hands in your pockets, you fucking bitch!
I don't... It look really weird if I did that.
Just put your fucking hands in your pockets. You're playing with shit that isn't yours. Don't make me come back there and slap you silly.
Fine, I'll play with this orange soda bottle that I found in the back.
Works for me.
What the fuck? You're like a toddler.
Shut up!
Fingers McGurk. Just get back on tack.
Anyway.
Tack?
And the power of Juju.
It's task. Anyway, speaking of back on task. So, yeah. He hits a fall-away slam onto a ladder and a pair of steel steps, which leads into probably one of the most brutal spots that I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. I mean, we did go through almost the entire tournament. There's some fucking brutal stuff that happens in that.
Well, I'm saying one of the. It's not the, but it's one of the.
It hurts because it makes you go, oh, Jamie Noble. Oh, Jamie Noble.
Oh, God, Jamie Noble.
He got Jamie Nobled in this. Wheelbarrow Facebuster.
Except
And it launches the ladder 15 feet in the air using Ori's face.
I dropped the brick in the back. Thank God I was near the bathroom.
Why did you? You were in. You had to run to the back to drop the brick. That would, and don't lie, that would come after the match. You fucking liar! Shut up. He didn't.
Yes, that's what I want to hear right now. Casey, take a big, massive fucking dumper. That's
Anyway,
what I want to hear.
That's beside the point.
You know, if I'm listening to this right now, I want to hear about the big dumper that Casey took. Very helpful.
Listen, it happened. Ori was in a lot of pain and a
Very
tremendous pain.
But fucking shit, he went face first. He ate a ladder sandwich.
But then he retaliated.
He had a good iron
And he was
diet by
like-
the end of it.
And then he was like, "You son of a bitch." He got up. He hits a double choke slam suplex.
Are you pushing too many pencils?
He used a choke slam suplex, tossed Shawn Maverick.
Those some pretty big pencils.
He tossed Shawn Maverick into the ladder.
Yeah, and fucking...
Sean got right the fuck up and said, okay, pussy, let's do this.
He didn't care.
It was great.
Sean had a match. The big hosses had a fucking match.
Then Ori would try to go and fly. Shawn Maverick caught him and tossed him with a capture suplex. What is happening is what I'm thinking halfway through this.
It's like, what is life?
And then they go to the outside, and then Ori hits capture suplex onto a ladder that's propped up against the apron, then a bad omen slam onto the crutch. Then, after that happens, Sean kicks out and says, "Fuck you," because by this point, he's in his blood rage state. And then he concertos him.
I'm gonna pause you there. As a...
Stop pausing me, you bitch.
Well, then come up with the button so I can press it to shut you up.
No.
Okay.
I was almost finished, and then you had to cut me off.
Allow me to simplify it so that way people don't have to listen to the same thing 80 times. Ready?
Yeah.
Aussie Man reviews his MMA fight clip. Fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you. No, that's this entire match. Is fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you. That's the entirety of that match.
Well, let me talk about the ending spot now, you bitch.
I don't know.
Like your references.
I'm sorry, no matter what you say, I don't give a fuck.
Anyway, you have a concerto that happens on the apron and the ladder and the chair. That hurt to fucking watch. Nathan just about dropped the "oh my god" line, probably the loudest he ever did to this point. And then Sean did another concerto spot with the ladder. Ori's face is in the chair. You can find out what happens next. I'd imagine.
On the next episode on Paintball Z.
Yeah.
You can watch Ori's face become fucking...
Ori Trey really needs to go to the hospital.
Yeah, and then it doesn't end there. Then a 12 gauge happens onto the top of the ladder.
The hardest part of the ladder.
And then the Anaconda of Ice.
Which taps Ori out.
He broke him. He broke
in
him.
half.
He broke the bitch.
And this match was just... I called it to this point. It may very well be topped at Immortal this upcoming Saturday, but it's safe to say that this match was probably one of the best big man matches that I'd seen in a long time in pro wrestling, and there has been a lot of them. I mean, you could go back into the history. There was... I mean, you saw guys like Bam Bam Bigelow fight fucking, King Kong Bundy, which was actually very, very good. You had him versus Lawrence Taylor, even though Lawrence Taylor wasn't a wrestler, was admittedly all right. But I don't think you had... it was just... this was insane.
As our friend JR would say...
This thing was a slobber knocker.
Yeah, it was a slobber knocker, all right.
It was just a no pull punch match. These two bastards were literally tougher than a $2 steak.
These two assholes had a barn burner, is what they had.
Yeah, exactly.
They fucking
did.
hurt each other. That's the only way to put this in a positive way.
It wasn't even positive. It was negative for them. But, yeah, it sucked for them. It was great for us.
Because we're sadistic assholes.
Yeah. It was your first match, and you got to see it, and then you took.
Well, the first match I got to see at ringside.
And then you had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because holy cow, my system could not take that.
Yep.
Surprise.
Can't believe you said that on the air.
Thou hast taken thy shit.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
Anyway.
We move on to a feud that has been culminating, really initially culminated in Japan, but the rivalry had a new spark when it came to WYW.
Zach Kurosaki?
And Austin Matotsky. Wow, you sound very tired. Was it the shit you took that you came back from to see this match? You had to rush back.
Oh, dude, I was gassed. I was donezo.
Yeah, dude, if you're saying you were gassed,
I have a joke there, but I'm not going to use it.
No, please, go ahead, my good friend.
no more jokes.
Is your name Dunzo Mori?
You soft, just sloppy. I gotta take a shitty. Anyway.
I'm gonna start using that. Anyway.
How are you shitting? It's the best I can come up with on the spot.
Oh my god.
It works. Screw it.
Zach,
I could have done how you pooping.
Shut up.
That would have been way funny.
Look, no, it wouldn't have. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to this match, and another ninja-like affair between Austin Matotsky.
It was a masterclass in strong style is what it was.
Yes, but it was also a masterclass in high-flying abilities.
As we get to see one of the greatest high-flying spots recorded in WYW history.
Yeah,
besides
rising sun from the top of the ladder, for example. That's the example. The coup de grace from the top of the ladder as well happened. These
guys showed what it's like to have a Japanese match come to America. With no, and I'm gonna put it like this: no American company, no name, getting in the way and trying to limit based upon TV time.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can put that without saying the name of what I'm talking about.
That's was the nicest
insane. I can do for the moment.
It was just nutty. It was nutty.
These two bastards were nuttier than squirrel shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
You had a lot of high-flying moments. Dragon uppercut, then a red ending, then a Tatsumaki. Nope, not enough. Trying to go for a coup de grace and Tatsumaki in midair to knock Austin out.
Like clean out.
What the fuck?
Well, that's one way to put it.
What happened at the end of that?
I think that's what Zach said when he hit the bottom. Or sorry, Austin. Somebody looked up. What the fuck just hit me? What the fuck happened?
Anybody get the number of that tank?
Has anybody got the number of that bitch?
18.
Thank you.
For fuck's sake. Your references.
Hey,
point is, Austin's out and Zach Kurosaki will move on. And we get to the Sean and Kurosaki match way later on. And now we get to the debut, ladies and gentlemen, of the great Taka Michinoku.
I'm not going to lie, I marked out a little at this match.
Of course you did. I did too. It's okay.
We all did.
Ladies and gentlemen, first off, I was very concerned because prior to this, Taka said if he did not win this match, Taka was going to retire.
And he's getting up
from the American scene. He was going to just strictly wrestle in Japan, and who knows how much that would have gone. But he said if he could get through this round, he's got one more run in America left in him.
And he's getting up there, so he better make the most of it.
Oh, he did here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you guys have not seen this promo package between Chris Foster and Taka Michinoku,
do it.
Do it. It's so hype.
Pause this podcast right now and go watch it.
Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
Are you back?
Are you back?
Thank you.
Wasn't it so hype? It was fucking dope, dude. I could not believe. First off, this is like the first time we really did a lot of editing for this. And
God, I'm sterile.
it was insane. And it was a lot of going over Taka's history. Oh my god, you fucking nerd. Can you stop? Take the phone out of your face.
It's not in my face.
But you're playing on it when we're supposed to be doing a show.
I can do both.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Listen, man. When you get up there and you go, I need something to do.
Hey, guys got to entertain themselves somehow.
Listen, I will whip out my dick live on TV.
No,
I will do it.
No, you won't.
can't stop me.
I'm stopping you.
Okay,
I'm cutting you off. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
The ex-wife said.
the crazy.
Were you married to
the
Lorena
fact
Bobbitt?
that went over Taka's history and the business, talking about his legendary
We are
matches and all that.
We are talking about somebody that if you don't know who he is, my God.
What the hell kind of rock are you living under?
There's a reason why at least some of the information on Wikipedia is probably correct.
It's very true.
The guy has a history that needed to be told.
And it was told masterfully. I mean,
They
put Taka over like $1 million for sure. And then they went on to Chris Foster talking about how he's looking to just make a hell of an impact. And he did. And they went over his Test Match 19, which we covered last episode.
Fucking hell of an impact.
He did.
Right on Taka's face later on in the match.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, they talked about his devastating ISK finisher and how it was going to be
Who was it that couldn't
hard.
even eat candy for a week?
Huh?
Who was it that couldn't even eat candy for a week?
Matt Nova.
Okay.
It was nutty, man. That was such a ridiculous match. After that promo, it, of course, it talks about how if Taco lost, he was going to retire from the American scene.
He's turning Mexican?
Shut up. Just let me fucking speak. Stop! John, don't cut me off and be like, I don't want to hear it from you, Mr. Oh, I slur out of my words and go, yeah, every sentence, all right? Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
We'll tell you that story later.
This match was fucking insane.
In the membrane.
In the membrane, yes.
Insane in the brain.
I thought it was going to be over when there was a pile driver hit by Chris Foster onto the metal, not even the metal ramp, it was concrete ramp. And Taka would not quit.
Oh, you mean the fuck you ramp, because at that time we didn't have the budget that we absolutely needed to.
Yeah.
So that was kind of sucky.
A drop kicks in stereo, one from the turnbuckle and another one from the top of the ladder. They collided heads on the way down.
And that shit hurt.
The ISK, the way Chris Foster hit this move, I think he got himself too psyched up afterwards because he could have actually probably won with this.
No, Taka had heart.
He did, but you got to remember.
That's all you need.
Let's remember what happened too. Taka gets his jaw jacked when he gets launched into the air, and then Chris Foster's like, bink! With this ISK, the super kick.
Which is the huge impact we were talking about earlier.
And then he just went nuts. The whole crowd went nuts.
Yeah, it was if you look really closely on that ISK, his foot slid up Taka's chest into his chin.
And that shit, that's the equivalent of, and I hate to
That's a rug burn.
That I'm gonna put it in an equivalent thing. That is a fucking foot version of the Shin Shoryuken.
It was ridiculous.
He glided that foot right into his jaw. And it looks amazing.
And then you had Taka's like, no, I'm not giving up after Chris Foster got admittedly a little too cocky.
I ain't done, you bitch.
I ain't dead yet, motherfucker.
He hits a Michinoku driver, but that onto a ladder.
Why'd you become black?
Yeah, right? Shut up.
No, was that?
That was Richard Pryor. Shut up.
Then Chris Foster hits a sickly back suplex onto the ladder.
The sickest.
They put their damn lives on the line in this match. And then
to say nothing of what we would see in the later
Chris
rounds,
Foster would hit the ISK one more time, and you'd think that's it, because he charged this thing up like crazy.
Surprise, bitch.
But
it's not over.
Taka Michinoku, he kicked out, got right back up, hit a surprise Michinoku driver on Chris Foster.
And that got him the win.
He moved on. And he was either going to fight J-Bones or Switchblade as the time went on. But then
he had some other problems to deal with.
Oh, boy.
In the form of Matt Harrington coming into the ring and taunting him.
Yeah, and we also have to bring this up, too. So after their controversial tag match with the Morning Stars...
Controversial?
It looked like that they were going to be going their separate ways. Because once Chris Foster had another opportunity to get into the Gold Rush tournament, he took it and won. On a house show event. And he's like, look, I'm going to do everything I have to get that title. Practical theater for us, because we're thinking they're done. They were known as the Ascension at the time.
Practical theater. That's a new one. I'm going to put that one down on the list.
Yes, practical theater. Just, acting, pretty much. We're thinking Matt Harrington's actually going to go there to, give kudos to Taka, because it looks like he's going to extend an olive branch. And out of nowhere comes who's on?
Jack Robinson.
He extended a beatdown. That's what he extended. Because all three of them, the London Devastation...
stomping him into the ground.
Stomped whatever fire was left in this man and left a smoking, burning piece of wood in that ring. A charred person.
What was it? 2 super kicks, 2 sonic screwdrivers, one of which took place on the exposed steel turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And then Jack Robinson pulls out his new move, the Brexit Breaker. Which I think John, you came up with right on the spot.
It did. I didn't necessarily come up with it on the spot. It was known as the Brexit Destroyer. I turned it into the Brexit Breaker.
As you can see, kids, change one letter and a whole different meaning happens.
But it was...
Stay in school.
It was just a horrible beatdown. And it was not called for in the slightest. I still don't care what anybody wants to tell me. It was not called for. It left Taka almost into a face mask here. He was in a face mask for
a couple weeks
because of this, and still had taped up ribs. He almost had the forfeited spot, which would have been devastating to him. But he was able to get it cleared enough to the point where he was able to get into his round 2 spot. I don't know how, but he did.
Once again, our medical team is miracle workers.
Yeah, he was brutally assaulted, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it was not a pretty sight to behold.
All we're gonna say is, my God, his internal organs are probably doing this. Ah!
Yeah.
That's
Jack would then cut a promo,
christening the Ascension as the London Devastation,
and dropped the mic, walked off
with Chris Foster and Matt Harrington,
and that was it. The new faction debuted, and it was over.
Factiones, if you will.
And it was over. Then they...
It's not over.
I'm saying that match was over. They took... the whole segment was over. They took Taka out on a stretcher. And then... Oh boy, the history between...
J-Bones and Nick Switchblade.
And on top of that, Ian Lancaster, who we'll talk about later. As we mentioned previously, Ian was screwed out of the tournament, and we can only assume it was by Nick Switchblade, even though we didn't actually see it. And then we get this promo talking about the history of the Psycho Asylum. J-Bones in the hardcore scene, Nick Switchblade also in the hardcore scene. J-Bones, in one sense, is crazy, but obviously
I couldn't fucking tell.
But when you talk to him, in person, he's very affable. He's very friendly, decent guy, good to be around. Likes to drink a little bit too much, but
teach their own.
Yeah.
Then
I won't say anything.
Then you have Switchblade, who's just
a psycho,
just a psychopath.
He's our version of the Joker.
Yeah, and
that's the best way that we can put that one. I'm being dead serious.
Ian Lancaster, I'm sorry, you just wear the face paint. This guy is the friggin' Joker.
I think that's why he's pissed off. You think?
You stole my fucking gimmick. I'm gonna kick your
Honestly,
ass.
I thought they all had.
They all watched
semblance of
that movie one too many times and came up with different portrayals of one person. Nick Switchblade, though, is not the Joker. He's a different fucking animal.
He is, and it's scary what kind of animal he is. In the promo packages, this is when we first did interviews, and I was there when I actually interviewed J Bones in this promo. I was actually the guy behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden, Switchblade comes up from behind and smashes him with a chair twice. Once to the back, or no, actually 3 times to the back, and then right to the head.
I get flashbacks now when I watch this promo back.
And then he just told him, "Hey, I'm your worst nightmare," and
just started laughing his ass off.
And I hid behind the couch. I was like, "I'm not screwing with this guy. No freaking way am I screwing with him." And then
the match happens. These two hit approximately 2 different wrestling holds on canvas.
Yep.
And then they decided to say, screw this, and completely fill the ring with weapons.
Toys, if you will.
Title belts, steel steps,
trash cans,
ladders, tables.
They grabbed fucking everything, okay?
They robbed an entire Home Depot and brought it back to the ring.
They probably would have grabbed some pregnant woman's child and used that as a weapon, these fucking lunatics.
Well, I wouldn't put that past Nick Switchblade. J-Bones,
J Bones has more respect than that. But, yeah.
If you can see the look on Nate Ferrar's face right now.
Hold up. I'm serious. He's more respectable than that.
If my eyebrow could shoot like a cartoon character into the fucking ceiling, it would.
Anyway, these two kicked the shit out of each other with weapons. It was brutal. Back suplex to start things off onto the steps, onto the title, onto the table.
Surprise.
Then
Pain.
A knee strike by J-Bones under the table. Just watch this whole match. It's full of spots. There's no way I could name off every spot.
Well, what else are you going to be doing today?
Elbow drop through our announcer table. Another fucking theme in this fucking pay-per-view.
Yes.
Or this whole
tournament.
Event.
Yeah.
This whole tournament.
But yeah, this
feels like a goddamn pay-per-view.
Once again, this is a pausable video.
Yeah. Have you seen it? Did you watch the match?
I'll wait.
Don't you fucking hurt now!
I'll wait.
It hurts to watch. Psycho driver onto the chair. Elbow drop through an announcer table.
God, we haven't seen the Psycho Driver in like years.
Yeah. Neck breaker onto the title belt. This is all by Switchblade. Those two specific moves, the Psycho driver and the neck breaker, done by Switchblade. J-Bones did the elbow drop through the table. Then you had J-Bones do a brutal power bomb onto pretty much everything more than once in this match. And then they decide to play a game of Russian roulette using the ladder. So, for those who have seen it now, because again, if you haven't seen it, watch it. Again, did you watch it? Okay, good. J-Bones is laying and sitting on the corner, and then Switchblade goes to the top of the ladder and drop kicks from the top right into the face of J-Bones.
I think the only way to really put it is just watch the fucking match.
Then you had J-Bones.
You don't really need us to go through the highlight of it because there is a highlight reel in that match.
Then you had J-Bones.
Granted, it kind of sucks because it's done in a style that doesn't really make sense, but it's there.
At least, hey, I still give them credit that they could do that on the spot. I'm not going to give them too much shit.
It still hurts.
You had J-Bones say, like, oh yeah? Well, watch this motherfucker. Sits freaking Switchblade down under the corner and hits a crossbody from the top. And at that point, I'm just like, all right, yeah, nothing's going to really surprise me anymore with these two.
Surprise!
And then another moment where, and by the way, the amount of GTSs that Switchblade, he revealed the GTS in this match, the go to sleep, taking a page out of CM Punk and Hideo Itami, aka Kenta. and taking the move for himself because, well, I hate the guy, but if there's any move, name-wise, that makes sense with a psychopath, this probably is the guy, especially with the guy given the nickname, The Nightmare. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm not denying
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yep.
It's kind of intelligent. I'll give him that.
You came up with one name. Okay, congratulations.
And then we think that's going to be it after the GTS, after he catches J-Bones out of the air and the lights
Spoiler alert.
go off again. And
Surprise!
earlier in the match, I think
Pain.
Switchblade did a move to J-Bones, and then I think J-Bones did a similar move back to him in retaliation. And once the lights went off and then you heard a chair crack off somebody's skull, you knew it had to be Switchblade. And then you heard the laugh of Ian Lancaster.
And you went, son of a bitch.
And then I said, hey, Nathan, remember when I said payback's a bitch?
Bam!
Powerbomb. Then you hit a Samoan drop. And then he's climbing the ladder. I don't know. This gives... we could say a lot about next Switchblade, but his resiliency we cannot question. Because the dude gets up, he tries to climb the ladder, and J-Bones is like, nah, I'm winning tonight. You're done. Drop kick, leg drop, curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Oh, I need a drink. And I did get a drink, actually. This is, I think, the time I actually joined Nathan in indulging in some of the alcoholics.
Yes, when he joined the dark side of the liquor.
Because
That sounds like a really bad Resident Evil joke.
The dark side of the liquor?
Shut up.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, shut
If you guys have not...
Shut the fuck up.
I'm going to say it again. I'll say it 100 times. If you didn't watch this match, then what are you doing? Watch the match.
How about
It's
we just
awesome.
stop saying it? We'll just be like, okay, ready? We're going to pause like right here. Hold on. Let's all just take 3.
We're going to do it again? Okay.
Did you finally watch the episode?
Did you watch it?
Good for you.
Okay,
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go over just a couple pieces of each thing now. Just to make it way easier instead of trying to do this whole fucking review process.
I like doing the review
Yeah,
process.
because you're an
You're
asshole.
the workaholic bitch.
I like doing that.
I did hurt.
Anyway, yeah, it hurts. Watch it. It hurt again. But also be somewhat sick in the head.
Yeah,
like all of us.
You probably are sick
Somewhat.
in the head. You probably are sick in the head if you watch that and went, this is fun. This is not fun.
As far as match quality, it was fun. It was very fun.
Fucking hurts.
Now we go on to round 1, episode 4, and oh boy, I don't even want to talk about this guy's spots. I don't really care about it.
Yep, here we go.
I'll talk about
bullshit.
I'll talk about a few of them.
Okay, ready? We're gonna make it into 1 minute. Ready? Set. Go.
Roll the dice onto a pair of steel steps. Kristoff would retaliate and hit a paycheck out of nowhere, revealing the paycheck finisher onto the sledgehammer.
Mark Young
goes to the top of the ladder, does an elbow drop. Kristoff also does an elbow drop from the top of the ladder. Then another paycheck onto a ladder propped up against the apron, another paycheck onto the apron on the other side, and then a lump popper powerbomb, and we think Kristoff's actually going to beat Mark Young in the first
30
round.
seconds.
Project Dot is hit, and then all of a sudden,
then
here comes
Corey Dangerous. Dangerous DDT, Dangerous DDT, Young Bomb, and the Dusty finish, originally named the Lion Tamer. And Mark Young, by the skin of his fucking teeth, was able to bypass round 1 because, no thanks to Corey Dangerous,
3,
by the way.
2, 1.
There you go. That's the fucking match, and I'm
You
pissed
just
off
got to
about this
listen to an
guy.
entire match bullshit segment in less than a minute. Congratulations.
I hate this dude.
Let's just.
I hate him. I hate
fuck up his
him.
life.
I hate him. I hate him. Have I mentioned that I hate Mark Young? I think everybody here in this car hates Mark Young. This dude is such a...
he's a
peon, man. Like, he would have lost. Like, I don't think people realize, like, how many times this dude should have lost. in this tournament. There was at least 2 that are notable.
Nobody is denying it, and that's a good thing because we all know that he is. Let's just stop it here and let's move forward to the next one.
Which was actually a pretty good one.
That way the people that are watching this don't have to hear the same repetitive sequence of information.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest,
I hate
we've
him.
talked enough about the Maggie Daddy Men and all their bullshit.
We're talking about them more later on.
We are going to have to later on, but for the moment, we can just move on and go, yeah, that was a dark page. Let's move forward. Which, by the way, need to relay one quick little piece of information. After that point, Jim Cornette.
Oh, yeah. We do have to actually. Yeah, so Owen is pissed.
That's the only important thing that happens.
Owen's
in that entire
pissed.
match.
So is John. They drive themselves right into Jim Cornette's office. Owen's saying, "I want them now. You're going to give them to me now." And Jim's like, "No. At a future event, you will get them. I don't know if it's going to be Mark Young. It depends on how far he gets into the tournament. But you will have your match with the Maggies." To which I said, "Great. Why can't it be tonight? There's no excuse why we couldn't have seen him kick his ass tonight, but okay."
But let it not be said that Jim Cornette did not make at least one good decision during the
Which
match.
was, he said, "Fuck you, no more interference. I don't care if the lights are off or otherwise. If anybody interferes, we're throwing the match out."
Because this is getting fucking
If the lights, he didn't say this in the episode, but he did say if the lights turned off again, they'd throw the match out and have it at the next episode, which thank God nobody tried that after that. But he also said if somebody was blatantly interfering in the match, they would be disqualified from the tournament. And I was like, yay. Yeah. Or so I thought. Mark Young would be eliminated in the next round. We'll get to that as we go along. Speaking of the guy who would fight in the next round, Jason G would take on Dave Foley. And we thought the main event of round 3 was hardcore. Well, and then we get to this match. Dave Foley with a double underhook DDT paying tribute to his uncle.
It's the Coconut Head versus the nephew of Mick Foley.
Yeah.
What the hell did we just walk into?
We walked into a brutal affair.
We walked into hell. And when we walked into hell, you'll never guess what happened when we went into hell. There was just, wait for it, hell.
This was a brutal fucking match. This really was. Double underhook DDT by Dave Foley, right into a ladder. And then he hit a freaking double underhook powerbomb into a ladder. And out to the ground at least 3 times. He was trying to ring Jason G. Jason G's like, "Fuck you. I'm going to hit you with my head."
Now keep in mind, when Dave Foley came to us, he was actually training to be a referee at Mass Anarchy Wrestling.
He was.
And we'll say this. When you have the chance to take a look at it as a match as a whole, 100% as a whole, it is a phenomenal match.
Yes.
And you could see that this is WYW this is what happens when the hardcore guys finally have a match. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And then my headset fell off again. Nate remembers this because I remember your quote. T-bone right into the announcer table, and then you just go, "Okay, remind me to find another job." Because by this point, he was like, "I'm sick of..."
Still looking.
He was so tired of it. I had to put my headset back on. As the match was going on...
As you can tell, it's not going so well.
Dave Foley gets right up and catches Jason G with a fucking tombstone pile driver.
The application process is fucking stupid.
And then Jason G hits his finisher, which is the bomb.
Where the hell are you applying?
It's,
Let him finish right there.
Yeah, attitude adjustment. That's the point. You're supposed to let me finish. And then, after that, I think we probably stumbled upon one of the sickest spots. Tables lit on fire. To which Nathan was like, "No! The table does not need to be lit on fucking fire too!"
Fair.
And then a brogue kick later, and Dave Foley goes through the flaming table and still kicks out. And to that point, I just slumped over in my chair, like, what?
Fuck this shit, I'm done.
What?
Put a fork in me.
No.
Put a fork in me.
Well, no. He didn't do... No. And then I mean, if he did not prove that he was a Foley here, I don't know what the fuck does, because then he climbs up to the ladder, to the very top of the ladder to meet Jason G. He would not stay down no matter what Jason did. No matter what he did. Until he hits a sick Northern Lights from the very top of the ladder and releases him into all the broken and burnt table pieces. And then he hits a brutal leg drop to seal the deal and win the match.
It's just,
Again.
It's one of those moments where you look and you go, humanity sucks. We are fucking terrible creatures. We do terrible things for entertainment. Yes.
Yeah. It was definitely, I guess it was, in a sense, it was entertaining, but in other ways, it just was really sickening to watch. But yeah, there you go.
It's one of those things that you look at and you go, well, boys and girls, I'm leaving this planet. My people need me.
I'm going to Mars. Fuck this.
I'm gone.
And then we get to the next match, which...
I must go. My planet needs me.
It was another Battle of the High Flyers match. I feel like we have a lot of these. Is it just me?
Yeah.
You're saying that like it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just pointing it out there.
Owen Finch and Kyle Weaver.
The promo package
Surprise, bitch!
was awesome. It was an awesome little history between these two.
It's a flyweight match. That's what we.
The Athena first official unofficial flyweight
but
match.
unofficial, but we absolutely know what it is. It's a cruiserweight / flyweight match.
These guys flew around like crazy. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. Owen Finch making his debut into the company after doing a few house shows and getting his spot in the tournament. Kyle Weaver and him just tore the roof. Well, if the place had a roof, I think I said that before, it'd be torn off. Or no, I said that for the Jason G. Dave Foley match.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Something
you
about
understand
that.
what looking up is. Still,
There's no
to this
roof.
very day.
It was no roof that day.
Well, right now there is. Let's take a look. That's a roof.
Yeah. Nah, it is.
Now there isn't.
Oh no! Don't punch the roof.
Why would you punch your own roof?
We need the roof. What are you doing? Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is,
the roof. What is on the roof?
there was some sick spots in this match too when it came to two high flyers.
Yeah, because it was called fucking
The sunset flip power bomb to the concrete. I don't know how Owen survived this. Houston hangover leg drop through the table by Owen Finch onto Kyle. Dynamite destroyer onto the support beam of the ladder by Kyle Weaver. Then I think I don't know what order it was, but I also know that Owen Finch hit the Golden Finch Clash, as he now calls it, before he called it the Birdman Clash. Thank God we got me.
Thank God that we realize that's just a dumb, terrible.
But
name.
he hit that through onto the concrete. Kyle's face just hit the concrete. And then they climbed to the top of the ladder one more
Thou
time.
can look.
Owen Finch,
in thy
I
skull.
believe, is trying to hit his frog splash from the top of the ladder, now known as the Blue Jay splash. He's trying to hit that from the top of the ladder. Kyle gets off the table, climbs the ladder up with him, and then the sunset flip powerbomb into the apron eliminates Owen.
And then we realize
1, 2,
that
3.
humanity is still fucking terrible.
It was brutal, dude.
It was amazing.
It was awesome, but
It was amazing.
The fact that Owen was able to get up from that and shake Kyle's hand after the fact
Is amazing.
and then the two shook hands. Kyle Weaver telling Owen fantastic work, which Owen just said same to you. That really was a very good sentimental moment, I think, in both of their careers right
Absolutely.
there.
And something we needed after
And it's
the bullshit we had been
It's
through
a
to start.
great moment. It's a great moment when you get to see athletes do what they have to do. Without the bullshit, without choosing sides or dealing with the nonsense.
Yes.
But like, say, stuffing a titanium plate into the elbow pad, looking at you, Corey Dangerous.
Well, let's get to that and just get it over with. But first, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about the promo, because I actually really enjoyed this promo. I don't care that it involved Corey Dangerous. Just the way that this was shot was very awesome. It was very westerny. It was
it's supposed to give the idea with it, at least from what the editors and everybody else, what they're trying to do, is put it in a thematic way, make it something
in a very cinematic way, like old school cinematic. And it was wonderful.
The classic 1950s/60s Western.
Yeah.
Hey kids, let's go through the channels in the 60s. What is it? Another fucking cowboy show.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what'd you find? You'll never guess.
Another fucking cowboy show!
But anyway, the point is, John Gray, he was an outlaw.
Don't you love being insane?
It just kind of went over their history. And their history was very well told. And then it goes on to the history of John Gray getting revenge on the Maggies, which I think was probably my favorite part of the promo.
I don't know.
Surprise.
I don't know. My favorite part of the promo is when it ended and those two assholes beat the shit out of each other. Because let's be honest, they beat the shit out of each other.
Yes, they did.
Dude.
As a thematic promo, it works because it gives you something when you're watching it.
I just like
context.
seeing...
It gives you a reason. It tells you the story of both individuals instantaneously, so that way you know what's going on. That's why we tell you guys, hey, watch the matches back and make notes. Make notes of what you think is going to be important for the upcoming stuff in Immortal.
It goes over the test match 14 incident where you had called John Gray and just had him run over a car with a monster truck while Mark Young was inside.
I will legally say I had nothing to do with that situation.
Bullshit.
Legally,
you admitted it on Test Match 14 that you had something to do with it.
I was drinking heavily that afternoon. I have no common recollection of that situation ever happening.
Out of here. Anyway. And then John Gray.
You probably would have done WYW a service anyway.
So that is very true, but I have no recollection of what you were talking about.
John Gray hit the Winchester rifle
I wasn't even at
for the
work
very
that day.
first time, which is his ridiculous spear that he hit in midair on Little Andre. We already covered this. If you haven't watched that first part back, go listen to it or watch that match. Did you watch it? All right, cool. We can move on.
Is that going to be the fucking joke for like the next hour?
I guess so. I mean,
how about we don't keep doing that shit?
Except for doing it. Anyway, now we get to the match. And oh boy, was John Gray pissed.
You got to say it correct. Oh boy!
This is probably...
It's the best way I can put that.
I'm just going to skip right to the part where John Gray is in full rage mode here.
Primal, unadulterated, and evil rage.
He has Corey Dangerous's head smack off a ring post.
And then he smacks him around the ring post.
With the baseball bat. And I think this... it starts off one of your most infamous catchphrases. Say hello to Mr. Bad Day.
Yeah, because
that's a bad day.
That is a bad day.
That's a very bad day. Match picks up as... power bombs through metal objects, elbow drops through tables. It gets up to the ramp where the two are fighting over the ladder onto the ramp because they're fucking nuts. A power bomb later onto the the fucking steel girder of all things. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is happening?
John Gray is getting murdered.
Well, Corey Dangerous got murdered before that. And Corey showed his resiliency, much to my dismay. Peacemaker DDT onto the outside. It looks like he's going to try to hit a Winchester rifle again, and he eventually does end up hitting the Winchester rifle in mid-fucking air after getting his eyes raked by Corey Dangerous, and I'm thinking, all right, he's over. It's over. It's got to be over. And Corey kicked out somehow. Later on, when he tries to go for another Winchester rifle, low blow.
He gets shit.
Sends him into one of the turnbuckles, then sends him into the exposed turnbuckle, the exposed top turnbuckle, chest first, and then he slings him over to the ropes, and then dangerous uppercut, 1, 2, 3.
And that's where the dicketry really...
We find out that there was a titanium plate in his fucking guard, which is what he
Which, to be fair, if you're, again, it is no disqualification, but that is sneaky as shit.
Yes.
That's some classic fucking sneakiness. I'll even fucking 100% admit that is some sneaky bullshit.
Yeah, it's not fun, and it was just not fun to see him win. I have to give him credit. He had a lot of resiliency that night, and it wasn't necessarily illegal to have a metal object, but it was still very shady.
He felt the need to hide it.
Well, to be fair, if you have an ace in the hole, why would you show your card early?
Yeah, sadly. Anyway, that's the end of episode 4 of round 1.
And the end of round 1 proper.
We will come back and talk about round 2 after these messages, ladies and gentlemen. And we're not singing it again.
Fuck you.
I don't feel like singing it because fuck Corey Dangerous.
I don't wanna.
It's his fault. And yeah.
But to be fair, that is a tone setter for... Yeah, it's a down note of that first round. But it shows that any athlete can pull any win out of anywhere.
Yeah, true. You're not wrong.
And, I got to give him credit first. That's a strategic as hell move to pull.
I agree.
That comes out of... Let's be honest, nobody was fucking expecting that.
Nobody did, no. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're going to cover all of round 2. We're probably going to speed round that in a sense, because we got to go over like 10 matches, but
we can. That's only 10 matches, not 16.
Yeah, true.
So we're over the hill, and we're going to keep going forward. But we'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes.
Yep, we will see you after these messages. We'll be right back. Yay!
Don't touch that dial.
Yay!
If you guys are into the underground hip-hop scene, please check out my cousin MC Solar Wind on YouTube.com, SoundCloud.com, and other social media platforms.
A reason to go on, cause it's lonely on my own. I chose to leave my home, cause I thought that I had grown. My paper stack high, so high, but not cash though. My mind works quicker than most, guess why I rap for? I write lyrics backwards, didn't catch it, hit the fast forward.
You can check out all of his hits from his mixtape Classic.
And it's all real. Underground past the pavement, we be wildin' on the corner freestyling.
To his second mixtape, I Am Solar Wind.
Breathe out, face, breathe in, breathe out, goals, breathe in, breathe out, fire, breathe in, breathe out,
Along with all the rest of his music on SoundCloud.com/MC-Solar-Wind.
Didn't get the best cards, play whatever's given us.
Make sure you give some props to my cousin and tell him that James sent you here.
Praise, but give credit when credit's due. Lately I'm feeling I should stop saying lately. My thoughts is timeless, won't be here if you page me.
Love you, Ty. Keep doing you, man.
Solar Wind.
Proud sponsor of Weymouth Youth Wrestling.
This is a public service announcement by Radio Massasoit. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Texting on your phone while you're driving. You don't think there's anything bad that could come about it? It's just a simple text, right, that you're sending out to a friend? Well, what happens if you hear this? That's you in a car crash. And pretty soon, you're going to be leaving behind your family, friends, and loved ones. Next time when you're on your way to school, wait until you're off the road to text someone. This public service announcement about texting and driving was brought to you by Radio Massasoit, where success starts here.
Hi everybody, my name is Gary Hebert with the World Academy of Hockey.
We all know Gary is a great skater and also a great stick handler, enthusiasm.
And to get better, your goal, get better, you learn how to skate faster and better.
Developing that east to west lateral explosiveness. So that lateral explosiveness is going to lead to a lot more unpredictability and elusiveness on the ice. Now you see me, now you don't.
You really have to develop those skating skills and stick handling skills.
So listen, when you come to my camps or clinics, what we're after is this. We want to build a complete player, quote unquote, from the blades up. When we're on this ice, we're here to, number one, work hard, and number two, have fun. If we work hard and have fun, ain't nothing else that matters, okay? Improvement is inevitable if we're working hard and having fun. Isn't that right, Nick? See? Nick, isn't that right?
If you
would like to try and go to Gary Hebert's World Academy of Hockey, please go to the website www.garyhebert.com. Right there will be a sign-up page for you to sign up anytime, anywhere. Make sure to also check out the schedule page and check out the different events that are on there to see what it's really all about. Gary Hebert's World Academy of Hockey, the breakthrough hockey performance center of North America. From the blades up.
Proud sponsor of Weymouth Youth Wrestling.
And welcome back to part 2 of the story you need to know before Immortal.
Hi. And we're ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, with episode 2.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to cover, so we're not going to waste any time. We got at least
10 matches.
Count them. We got 4 promo packages, 10 matches, and a lot of backstage segments.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
So we got to get ready. Let's go. So, it starts off with an opening promo package. Holy shit! This promo package really had to remind me of all the carnage from round 1.
Which again gives you a good insight of what happened. If you're going, that's all beauty of it, is that the guys that are working on the promo packages are able to kind of take the theme and the idea of the first and make it into the second.
Yes.
Make it more interesting. And that's what happened later on down the line with each promo package.
Yes, exactly.
Also, change of bands. We go from Breaking Benjamin to Mutiny Within, which is
fun.
actually how I discovered them.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise.
And this was also your first night on commentary.
Yes.
Yay.
It's a story.
Which Nathan quickly came to regret.
Oh,
what do you mean, just him?
I have many regrets. Number 1, United States taxes. Number 2, W-2 forms and why they are so fucking bullshit. And number 3, and the most important thing, places that say that they will not serve me liquor. How dare thee?
Oh,
I will smite you down!
I shall smite thee with my sword of power!
No, just call the fucking local... The local food administration to come in and check if they have anything in the kitchen. Oh no, you got shut down? Oh, who would have thought that was gonna happen?
Anyway, that's beside the point. That is beside the point. We gotta get onto this.
Yes, so opening promo package leads into...
Markiplier's debut.
Yep.
Which was...
Interesting.
Very interesting because the two had probably the weirdest exchange I've ever seen.
It's a...
What's wrong with the tie?
You told me not to wear pink. What the fuck?
To be fair, I wouldn't expect any of my employee to wear a tie.
A pink tie?
I don't wear a tie.
Anyway, that's regardless. These two just kind of roasted each other, but then they went and turned back to the audience. And next thing you know, they announced, and they have a big announcement, and that they were going to be having a big Omega event. We don't know what the Omega event is.
And then we see the logo.
WYW Immortal, ladies and gentlemen. This is the event that we now know is official. We knew we were going to be hosting a big event. Now, keep in mind, before this...
We just didn't know where.
Keep in mind, we thought that this was going to be...
how big.
We thought this was going to be Gold Rush. The original Gold Rush card, ladies and gentlemen, was actually supposed to be just the semifinals of the Gold Rush tournament and then the mini tag tournament. And it was going to be the finals as well. That was the original plan. And then Markiplier and Jim Cornette flipped it on its head.
Said, fuck that.
And now we're leading into WYW Immortal, which is probably, as we'll get into in part 3, the biggest CAW card of all time. That's not an exaggeration, folks. That's why this exists, so we can tell you the story of how this all came about. This was announced on episode 1 of round 2. This wasn't even episode 1 of round 1, ladies and gentlemen. They saved this till episode 1 of round 2.
Which, again, is expected. But if you take a look at this format that's slowly leading up to Immortal, this is honestly the bit where everybody's starting to take that serious road.
They already were before.
Yeah, but now
this is where it's all starting to pay off. I mean, you notice some people going, Oh shit, we got a huge event.
Now, let's start with match 1. Let's go to fucking match 1.
Match 1 starts off, and by the way, we're in Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois.
Before that, we were in Florida, because I feel like we hadn't even mentioned any of the locations.
Yeah, who cares?
And the episode before that, we were in New York City. So, just so you people know, that's where we were. And now we're in Chicago, Illinois.
And we're starting off with Boston Strength versus Chicago Pride.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Firebird Chris Phoenix takes on the Executioner Michael X. And this is the first time.
It's a very different match.
Michael X is booed heavily here.
Yes, and it's one of those things where you have the hometown hero go up against, the outsider in this case. And it's one of those matches that we get to see something really interesting. We get to see a change of format. The Executioner go up against a high flyer primary.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's an interesting chemistry because he's already gone up against a mat technician in the first round, a mat technician / Muay Thai expert, so he has to deal with somebody that's a mixed martial artist as well as he is. But now he's got to deal with somebody that can outmove him.
Yep. And this match...
And he does it.
Was insane. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a freaking match and a half.
There was a Phoenix arrow on the floor.
We got to talk about... There was other stuff too. The Phoenix Plex on a broken guitar. We'll get to that later. I'll talk about that later.
You turned him acoustic.
Basically. You had Michael X hit his patented fisherman suplex onto a trash can.
Yep.
You had Chris Phoenix from the top of the ladder hit a superplex to the outside. Before that, he also hit a spin kick, which he smashed Michael X's head into the frame of a steel chair. It was just back and forth all throughout. Michael X, in the end, would capitalize on a mistake made by Chris Phoenix. Because Chris Phoenix would go for the Phoenix Splash from the apron, springboarding off, and would crash and burn as Michael X would roll out at the very last second. Rolls Chris Phoenix back into the ring. Another fisherman suplex, which launches the ladder again, like 10 feet in the air.
The correct answer is it fucking hurt.
But you know what else hurt?
Execution bomb onto the ladder.
My fucking spine.
And this would knock out Chris Phoenix, by the way, because when this execution bomb was hit, ladies and gentlemen, he hit Chris Phoenix on the back of his head onto the ladder. That's not Chris out. Chris is down and out. 1, 2, 3. Michael X moves on to the quarterfinals. Holy hell.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Just
that's one way to put it.
Just brutal, these two. If you guys have not seen this match, go and watch it, because it was awesome. It was an awesome match.
It is a match that honestly sets the tone for all of round 2 at that
yes,
point.
It does.
It really does.
That honestly, round 2 is way, when it comes to technicality, becomes way more fucking technical.
Yeah, it does.
Before it was about, round 1 is brutality. How much pain can you put on your opponent? Round 2 is all technical based. It's how much can you get away with during a match? How much can you fucking put on your opponent? And how much can you,
avoid yourself?
How fast can you take down your opponent? How quick can you do it?
And this is what I liked at the end of it as well.
The
crowd who initially booed Michael X ended up cheering for him because of the performance that him and Chris Phoenix both gave.
Well, it's because
and when Michael X went to shake his hand and put, essentially raised the arm of Chris Phoenix essentially with a handshake, that really showed the respect, and he was loved again. You know what I mean? So that was an awesome moment.
They had an equal moment where they both met on the battlefield, and they showed that they can go as good as the other one can.
Absolutely.
And it's a good match. It is not a bad match. It is
not at all.
Let's move on to the next one.
Then we go on to
Brandon Curtis
and Matt Harrington.
Which is a great technical match. They've already fought previously in a cage match.
Which the promo package prior goes over.
Yes, and they're fucking technical. They are absolutely technical monsters.
Yes.
Brandon Curtis and Matt Harrington, you could definitely see the ego on Harrington in this promo. Oh, boy. I am money. You freaking bitch.
Douchebag.
Anyway, And then you can see the contrast there. It's a man fighting for his family, for his 3-year-old daughter,
who was apparently sick as a dog.
She was sick as a dog, and he was trying to take care of her, and this was his like moment, you know.
And of course, Matt Harrington just trying to shit all over it.
Yeah, and he's like, I am money. You're nothing more than some inconvenience to the gold that I seek. Is that what he said?
It's close enough.
Some form of big words. Fuck him. This is why I'm not an English teacher, because I don't want to end up like that guy. Anyway, at the end of the day, we get to the match, and yeah, as we talked about, a very technical affair to start off with. And, well, if the match before didn't show how much Casey was new to all this on commentary.
This one definitely did.
This one did. Because, oh, yes. Throat must hurt watching this match. Crossbody. Head was trapped into the chair. And then, actually, it was Harrington that trapped... what was it? Harrington trapped Brandon's head into the chair, elbow dropped it, which completely hurt the neck and the throat of Brandon Curtis, but he still got up, and Casey just goes, Brandon Curtis should be dead!
He should have been!
Well, you see, in WYW, when it comes to a world title,
they don't give a fuck.
They don't care. They just don't care.
Apparently, these men flip the Grim Reaper off right in the face on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, headlock drivers, DDTs on the various metal objects.
Brandon Curtis going sideways off a springboard.
Yep. Then not only that, but then you had, of course, the sonic screwdriver multiple times. One time onto the exposed steel yet again. And he was going to climb the ladder, which may have been his biggest mistake.
Because here comes
Brandon Curtis was able to get right back up, and then he was able to send him into the ropes for one of the sickest thunderstrucks you will ever see. Hits him up for the elevated cutter, 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Brandon Curtis moves on, and the London Devastation effectively get eliminated from the tournament. But not without a fighting effort, admittedly, from Matt Harrington. So that was a hell of a match. If you guys want to see a technical masterpiece, as well as some brutality in there, go watch it. Because there are some other spots that I didn't even go over where they just countered each other, and just kept countering each other. At risk of their own life.
The correct answer is they beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah. And it was not easy for both of them. They were on their toes, both of them, and it's it's a beauty of a match to watch.
But you forget one other thing. That was not the only tournament we hosted that night.
Oh no.
We move now into the newly christened...
Before we even get to that, we sadly have to talk about the rumors that were circulating about the guy we mentioned earlier.
Yes. Brett mentioned ordered by Corey Dangerous, care of Mark Young, to end the career of Johnny Starr in order to be inducted into the Maggie Daddy Men. Brett mentioned accepted his mission, and now we move on to the next match. Because fuck the Maggies.
Yeah.
If you're going to go over the history of how things happen, you're going to go over the entire thing, even if it's shitty.
Yep.
Even if it's fucking terrible, you got to go over it.
Anyway, now we move on to the newly christened Athena tournament, which is, by the way, in case you didn't know what that meant, the women's tournament. Because some people might be confused on what does Athena mean? It's a woman.
Confuzzled, as John sometimes says.
Yes. Colleen Horizon.
I feel a bit of confuzzy.
Colleen Horizon, Vamp Candy, and Breezy Bree. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I've seen a lot of crazy shit, but then this match kind of just flipped all that on its head. And, my brain's still kind of recovering. Judo arm drag.
7 weeks down the line.
Judo arm drag by Colleen Horizon, flipping Breezy Bree, But out of nowhere comes Vamp Candy with a flipping senton.
Here comes the flipping.
Lots of flipping.
Hey, Pretty Flippy!
Shut the fuck up.
I love Pretty Flippy!
And then...
Pretty Flippy!
Shut up, both of you. You had a DDT spot right out of the gate. A snap DDT by Vamp Candy onto a steel chair. Then you just have Colleen's like, I'm just going to get a lot of weapons. I like metal. Can you tell I like metal?
I mean,
there's a lot of metal.
She is the crazy rocker chick. I mean, it's kind of to be expected.
Yeah, but I mean, you're taking this a bit literally, you think.
Well,
I mean, Christ, man, she was bringing
look
in...
at what she was doing in the match!
Dude, she brought in everything except the kitchen sink, okay?
And I'm pretty sure she would have brought that in, too, had she had the opportunity.
You had these women beat the hell out of each other. You had Breezy Bree show off a hell of a showing with a belly-to-belly suplex out of frickin' nowhere. She showed off a lot in this match, and it was all awesome.
Was eliminated by Vamp Candy, I believe.
Steel chair shots galore by Breezy Bree. Breezy Bree was not going down without a fight. You had Colleen and Vamp with a hell of a war. But in the end, Vamp Candy would eliminate her, Breezy Bree with a Vamp cutter through broken pieces of table to take her out of the equation. Then you had Colleen and Vamp. It was just down to those two. So for those who don't know, if you haven't watched it, which by the way, again, go watch. I won't stop what I'm saying here. Vamp Candy and Colleen Horizon would essentially eliminate Breezy Bree because it was elimination rules. And then these two kicked the shit out of each other for the rest of the match. DDT into the trash can later. A judo arm drag into the ladder later. Vamp cutter out of midair. There's some crazy, crazy shit, ladies and gentlemen. Rocker driver.
It is a athletic
display.
Fucking marvel.
It's great. Is the answer. It's great. Of course, this is before we found out Vamp was in the Disciples.
Which we'll get to later.
Yeah, we'll get to that way later.
Episode 3, I swear.
Yeah.
Part 3 of the podcast.
Then I get kicked in the face because
Colleen
went wild with a rocker driver through our table.
Too close.
My favorite soundbite.
Fuck you.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
And I still don't remember the live part. I didn't see it.
Take it one day at a time, all right?
I saw the replay and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's my face. I got kicked. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Colleen apologized to me like 100 times, and I'm like, it's okay. It's fine. You're just going wild in the match, but next time try to not have someone kick me in the face. Because that hurt.
Do it next time, I mean.
Shut up.
Like aim right for the dead center of his head.
Fuck you.
Like dead center.
Anyway.
He needs a nose job real quick.
Like, just do it.
Then Johnny is getting interviewed backstage.
By Colin Dunn, I believe.
By Colin Dunn. This was his debut on TV. And then...
A lot of debuts on round 2.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's more the fact that we get to see more individuals get hired as the show progresses.
Yes.
Fair enough.
And then...
You know, you just gotta make sure shit goes right, man.
And then Johnny would cut the promo saying that Brett's a coward for joining the Maggies, which I would agree with. And he's like, I'm just gonna prove it that he's a coward. And then he goes out to the ring. He's ready for his match.
Funny story before we go on. I actually overheard Colin Dunn arguing with some fan in the crowd about whether or not the Cultaholic What Culture split was a work.
Oh yeah. We don't talk about that.
That's dumb.
That's really
Whoever
just
believes
dumb.
that's fucking dumb. That's just dumb.
Anyway,
okay.
So, yeah, we get to this match, and this match, I don't really know what to say. I don't want to really go spot for spot, but I know Jim's telling me I do. I don't really want to. All I'll tell you is...
Jim has no power over these podcasts.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just a lot of head trauma. Just go watch the match and you know what I'm talking about.
And that was about...
Skull-crushing finale into the post. Ladder.
And into the ladder.
Boot to the post.
And then the final whack.
Yeah.
Ends.
I honestly thought Johnny was dead.
Everybody thought Johnny was dead, dude.
I thought he was dead.
We all sat there and just watched the man become like a fucking pile. He hit that thing hard. He became a pile on the ground.
For those who don't...
I also got speared through the barricade.
All we're going to say
Yeah,
is...
well, no, Johnny got speared through the barricade. You got caught in the crosshairs.
All we're going to say is that you should really try to avoid this match because it's not for the faint of heart.
I mean...
This is fucking brutal, dude.
Johnny did put up a hell of a fight, but it was just no use, man.
Yeah, he put up a hell of a fight, and then he got his head almost fucking ring-dinged.
Caved.
It was a great match. It's just the ending was less to be desired.
Yeah,
and I wanted to punch the man in the face.
Says the man who almost tried to dart in the ring. I had to hold you back.
Yeah, I was.
Trust me. I wish I didn't have to.
And Chris Dodd, I hope, and the rest of the Hat Trick Incorporated, I hope beat him up more than anybody else. I know. Chris Dodd and the rest of them are really with Corey, but I hope Brett Mention gets his.
I can only hope.
Because
as we've said before, John Gray has taken out 2 members.
Oh, we'll see.
Of the Maggie Daddy.
No, it's John Brady, not John Gray. Different John.
John Gray.
John Brady, he's fighting in Immortal, though.
Yes, I know that's who he's fighting in Immortal, but I'm saying John Gray has only gone through 2 members of the Maggies right now.
And one of them took him out.
Still. Anyway, yeah, I'm not talking about that anymore because it's really disturbing. We get to the final match.
Azareth and James Part 2.
This promo.
This was an honor to call.
It's a good match.
This perked my energy up after that disturbing scene. For sure. The promo was just epic. It felt like a movie promo, or a movie trailer. Going over the history in the ladder match from Test Match 11, which we covered on this Part 1. And then we have Part 2 here. Azareth Smith and James Archangel lay into each other.
Like most good things in the world, this sequel's usually better.
Well,
when done right.
And this sequel's fucking fantastic.
You had a death from above onto a steel chair, back suplexes onto not just any table that was laid out in the ring. It was, what was it? You had a back suplex onto the metal frame of the table as opposed to just the regular front of the table.
Yeah.
Multiple times. And then the match just quickens pace here with the ladder and steps. Once those are brought in, you had Hurricane Rana's into the steps by Azareth. You had a Damnation Bomb into the ladder and steps, which Azareth, I don't know how, kicked out of. And it leads to the big crescendo. James Archangel climbs to the top. Azareth then climbs to the top.
Superplex onto, I believe, the steps.
The steps, for sure. It wasn't just a maybe. It was the steps.
And James Archangel hits the Damnation Bomb immediately thereafter.
Moonsault, 1, 2, 3, it's over.
And so is episode 1 of round 2.
Just... what the hell? This match was insane. If you guys want to see it, watch it. And yeah, as we said, just skip match 3 of the Gold Rush tournament and just skip right to the main event. Probably do yourself some justice.
No joke.
Some favors. Yeah. But that match was still awesome. That main event was
down,
awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is 4 down.
5 down.
5 down. 5 to go.
Now we get on to episode 2. And we're kicking things right off, ladies and gentlemen. Recap of round 1 leads into us, because, we're self-important dickheads. And then it leads into a promo package for Zach Kurosaki
and Sean
Maverick. Holy man!
And I even said Sean was going to have some difficulty in that match trying to take him out. And I was right.
Yeah.
Sean had a lot of difficulty trying to take him out because he was way fucking faster than him.
Yep. You guys, if there's any promo package
they matched in strength, which blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, right?
Like, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, definitely check this match out, and also check the promo package out, because that was so hype. That got me in the mood to see these two just go to war. It was a hell of a package to go over both of them individually. It was just awesome, really. There's no other way to put it. It was just really awesome to watch. And then the match was awesome to watch.
Yes.
And to call. Rising Sun later, and
they were actually having me try out actually no, this wasn't that one. That was quarterfinals. Never mind. Continue.
Yeah, that was quarterfinals.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you about to say?
But anyway,
I was going to say they were having me try out a new headset, but that was the quarterfinals.
Yeah. I was about to say. There was a ridiculous spot where Zach Kurosaki hits a brainbuster and a half onto the corner of the ladder. Zach Kurosaki's pulling out all the stops.
He's gonna have to, man.
He's definitely gonna have to.
You can't just fucking expect that you're gonna win when it comes to somebody who's, I don't know, a physical mountain of meat.
Yeah.
6'4", 285 pounds.
75.
Former U.S. Marine. Are you shitting me?
This guy, I was shocked, man. I was really shocked that Zach had this much fight in him against this guy. And it was a very even affair all the way through. These guys tore each other apart. They had... I'll just get right to the near end here. Zach Kurosaki busts open Sean, and that's a bad idea.
That's a very bad
But Zach, to his credit, would still continue the onslaught.
To hold the zone.
Dangerous neck breaker, back suplex onto steps, the dragon punch. Still not enough to put him down. He hits another dragon punch, sets up a ladder, climbs it, rising sun from the very top. 1, 2, right at the 3, kicks out. Right before the 3 hits. And Zach's like, what do I gotta do? What do I have to do? And Sean's
said,
like,
there is nothing you can do.
It's a German suplex.
You can only die.
This, I remember my infamous quote here in this match. A German suplex from the top rope onto Zach Kurosaki by Sean Maverick onto a pair of steel steps. Spikes Zach Kurosaki on his head, and then Sean elbow drops him from there. To which my exact quote was, "What the fuck?"
To which I went, "Language, John."
Yeah.
Because you got to keep in mind, we are live.
To which I went,
"Don't play that game."
And then Zach Kurosaki tried one desperation rising sun from the springboard to the outside, but then Sean says, nope, smashes the ladder in his face, brings him in, Titan punch and 12 gauge into the ladder later.
Match is
over. But take nothing away from Zach Kurosaki, who put up a freaking fight and a half. Against Sean Maverick. And if you guys want to see a match between a Japanese strong style and American strong style,
it's just American fuck you style versus Japanese I kick you in the head style.
It's great. It's America, I'll punch you. Japanese, I'll kick you.
It was
really
World War
hard.
II with the actual, instead of, an American fighting a Japanese man, it was American fighting a weeaboo.
Yeah, the actual World War II would come later.
Anime World War II.
Shut up. This was World War II Part 1 in a sense, because, and by the way, everyone's like, why are you using a World War II reference? It's Japanese fighting an American. We mean no racism behind it. Shut up.
Yeah, but even then, he's an American civilian who went to Japan.
Who cares?
Whose father is American, his mother's Japanese.
Yeah.
Why didn't his father take fucking his mom's Japanese name? Well, I can tell you this, because he's a bitch.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
How's it feel, man? To be a bitch. To be a bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we move on to the next match,
J
which
Bones.
was very hard to sit through because of what Taka had to go through earlier in round 1. J Bones versus Taka Michinoku. Taka Michinoku, actually, we lost the footage to this, but there was an interview conducted, and he just gets slapped in the face by Taka when he's basically told, "You better not disrespect me by taking it easy on me, you fucking clown," or something.
Alan
of that
Schneider.
nature.
The man we once knew as Alan Schneider had to step in.
Yeah. And it was just brutal.
And that's putting
This
it
match.
lightly. And that is
Curb stomp onto the sledgehammer, ladies and gentlemen, by J-Bones, of all people. I mean, I really shouldn't be surprised because this guy's a hardcore nutbag. But still, it was just really hard to watch because Taka is coming out in a face mask, ladies and gentlemen. Like, he's not at 100%.
He is busted to shit.
After that
He's
London
like
Devastation beatdown,
London Devastation?
London, shut up!
You've been hanging around with the Japanese people too much.
Shut up.
You're getting your L's and your R's confused.
Shush.
I'm kidding.
Anyway.
Taka knows I'm kidding.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match was insane. It was just it was a nuts affair. That's really what this was. You had... I don't know how Taka pulled off a lot of the stuff he did. The elbow drop through the table.
He was just working off a pain, man.
And I would, again, I'll go over every spot, but just for time's sake, I'm just going to skip right to the end. Suplex backbreaker later, and AK-47 and a leg drop later. And Taka still kicks out after this onslaught, and despite having really bad injuries.
And the face mask has been busted open by this.
Yes, yeah, I forgot about that. He actually busted open the face mask.
A piece of the face mask cracked and slid when Taka got hit right across his forehead.
It was
busting him open.
brutal, dude.
The good part is with the face mask on, though, the amount of blood that was going down his face was limited.
Yeah.
Because it was like a tight seal.
And then... I thought he was going to end his career here.
So J-Bone sets up a ladder, puts Taka on the table.
He sets up a ladder in the ring. He sets up a ladder in the ring, mind you. He goes up to the very top of the ladder. It looks like he's going to go for his patented leg drop through the table.
Which he does.
And then Taka rolls at the very last second out of the way.
And I proceed to lose my shit.
And then Taka Michinoku gets J-Bones up. Michinoku driver onto the broken frame of the table later.
Hooks the legs. 2. Done.
And it's over. I was shocked beyond belief that Taka was able to advance. Holy crap, the heart on this man.
Well, again, he's gone through matches in his career, still working off an injury as well.
Granted, I don't know if he's ever been through, say, the King of the Death match, but...
No, but I mean, if you're an athlete with his age, in consideration of the amount of shit that he's put himself through...
It's pretty nuts.
Breaking a rib during a match or fucking up your face...
It's nothing.
Is nothing.
He suffered a concussion during the 2000 Royal Rumble and still continued, actually.
But we'll talk about that another time.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean... If you want to talk about King of the Death match, you want something pretty close to it, and we'll talk about that in part 3. Because he would go on to fight Shawn Maverick. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Now we get on to...
the second Athena match.
The second Athena match. The second match in round 1.
Número dos.
Another triple threat affair. The Vasile sisters, Alicia and Jen,
versus the debuting Vera McGarden.
It's a triple threat match.
Of Michael X.
Oh, this was just brutal to watch.
You remember when...
Tag team
Do you remember
galore.
a long time ago when Mr. John Cena was in a relationship with another woman in the roster, and they were called the Power Couple of Wrestling?
This is the real Power
Couple. This is
Couple.
the real fucking Power Couple of Wrestling, because my God, they've just dominated both of their competition all the way up to this point.
Yeah.
I will say this, too. It was not easy for Vera, because she had to fight a tag team at the
Yeah,
start.
she had to deal with it. It was a fucking handicap match.
At the beginning,
10 minutes.
For like 10 minutes. dude.
It doesn't matter how long.
I will never forget one of the beginning spots.
Oh no, it was.
Sledgehammer shot to the gut. Rainmaker clothesline. Ow. Jesus, girls, why you gotta be like that?
Why you gotta kill
Why you gotta be like that? A double wheelbarrow suplex smashing Vera's head into the ladder.
Because they don't give a shit.
And Jen would prove it.
Because Jen would turn on her sister, because her sister turned on her a long time ago anyway, because they've been feuding before this point.
Surprise, a feud.
But, yeah, these two...
Surprise, fuck you.
These two beat the hell out of each other later on in the match, and Alicia Vasile just hit some brutal it's a crucifix bomb. By the way, it's like the death from above, but it's a lot worse. We know this is just a brutal. She just releases. I think it was Vera into the steps. I thought she was dead. But then Jen would come to capitalize, and she's like, no, I'm pinning her. It was like almost a sibling rivalry here. To the point where Jen completely is like, I'm just going to get this chick eliminated so I can have Vera all to myself because I want to prove myself. Our table gets dismantled again. And then Alicia's put on the table as she's knocked for a loop. And then 2 moonsaults later,
Alicia Vasile is eliminated.
And Nathan got his face kicked. And finally, after what happened to me, you just laughed. And I actually showed concern. And then you just told me, fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, Nate, how many fingers am I holding up?
Fuck you.
Actually, was I only holding up the one middle finger that night?
I have no idea.
He might have been right.
I saw a finger in my face and I went, okay, fuck you too. I didn't care what finger it was, but fuck you too. How many fingers am I holding up?
Sean, yeah, so Vera and Jen would then have a brutal affair for the rest of this match.
Brutal.
Oh, we also forgot to mention, Jen unveiled the burning hammer.
Yes.
Out of fucking nowhere.
And
sorry, that's
Cradle Shock as well.
Sorry, that's kind of the theme with most of these, ladies and gentlemen.
Pulling shit out of their ass.
Pulling shit out of goddamn nowhere. Where did that come from?
Then,
what the fuck?
As they're
came from
fighting,
Brian Kendrick is where that came from. Brian Kendrick is where that came from.
Vera McGarden, oh boy, would spear Jen Vasile through the barricade. Then she would have a leg drop through the table.
Just like her hubby taught her.
Yeah. And then Jen would still not stay down, because then she would hit a superplex onto this ladder, and she hit like Hurricane Ranas on the ladder. She hit ridiculous high kicks.
They hurt each other
a lot.
It wasn't. This is not a technical match, but we get to see what all three of these women are capable of. We get a juggernaut format in Alicia.
Yeah.
And you get the high flyer in Jen.
And with Levy. I'm sorry, Vera. Sorry, original last name.
Yeah, right.
Because copyright issues.
Yeah.
Off.
Vera McGarden climbs to the top of the ladder.
Hits what we call the Spear of Hades.
Which is just, if you guys don't know, is a coup de grace from the top. She hit it from the top of the ladder through a table, and that was the end of it.
Which,
one,
my God,
two,
three. Those fucking feet through your chest getting just smashed down has to hurt.
It did.
There's no way to take
ladies and gentlemen,
there's just no way to take that doesn't hurt.
We're not done.
We still have 2 more matches. Well, thankfully we can kind of skip over the next one because bullshit. But
go right ahead, boys.
Mark Young versus Jason G. Mark Young approaches Jason G in the back. Starts talking shit. Jason G starts talking shit back.
They fight, then guess what happens? They go out to the ring.
That was probably the best part of the whole match.
Then they fight in there. For some
before
reason,
the match.
Mark's been fucking with Jason the entire night. Jason hits Mark with a spear through the barricade. Jason reverses Mark reverses the spear on Jason and DDTs him all the way through. making sure to cause brain damage.
You gotta remember, too, he had a crucifix bomb. The back of Jason's head also smashed off the steps.
He aimed for his head the entire night, almost ending his entire career.
Yes,
and right after that, we get to see Mark do something really shitty. He just
Yum bomb.
fucking hurts him for like the rest of that match. Jason tries to put up a fight and
right
gets
onto
nowhere.
the steps.
Mark retires
right onto the
an
corner
athlete
of it.
early. I can't believe I'm saying it, but he retired Jason Chase.
He did. It was
fractured his skull off the DDT into the barricade.
And he also fractured his skull more with the Yum bomb onto the steps.
Yep.
First was the crack.
Then
there
break.
was the split.
And then there was the fucking fissure.
It was bad.
He hurt him, dude. He fucking hurt him.
He fucked him up.
Fuck Mark Young.
There's no way to get
Fuck
around
the Maggies. Fuck all of them.
He just hurt him. That's the best way I can put it.
Well, thankfully, a little bit of comeuppance waiting in the wings as we move on to the main event.
Which, man, this promo really... I've never seen Kyle so angry, dude. I've never seen him so fucking angry.
Go for it.
He...
Just go for it.
Go ape shit, man.
Dive into that
He
shit.
just said with a stoic voice, "You think it's easy to take me out? You got it wrong." He told me the minute I hit the Dynamite Destroyer, it's curtains. And it didn't take one, it didn't take two, it at least took 3, maybe 4 Dynamite Destroyers, and we'll get to it.
I think my final count was 5,
But man, Kyle was pissed.
Kyle did what he had to do. He had a job to go in.
I'll go over what Corey says.
Fucking target locked, and he went for it. He had to.
I would say what Corey Dangerous said, but no one fucking cares. Fuck him. Anyway, we get on to the match, and I thought there was so many counters in this match. I lost count. Freaking. We gotta talk about the Hurricane Rana into the ladder where he just smashes Corey Dangerous's face and throat, or no? I mean,
there's no point.
Then I don't know how Corey kept getting up, because then he got up from that onslaught with a dangerous uppercut. Still wasn't enough to put Kyle out. Corey had some damn resiliency.
He really did.
I'll give him that. Power bomb onto the apron, Kevin Owens style. That was brutal.
It is one of those things that we know.
DDT onto the apron by Kyle and comeuppance also.
Just to give you a basic overlay for somebody that hasn't seen the match, should have seen the match. It is Kyle cutting loose and going
with some vengefulness,
going for fucking everything he could come up with.
Yes.
And again, let's be honest, you and I, that all three of us know, that later goes to bite him in the ass.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that.
But we'll talk about that in the third part.
But then, as the fight continues, Corey climbs to the ladder, Kyle climbs up with him, and Kyle hits a devastating neck breaker onto the barricade.
Yep.
Then an arm drag into the barricade. And then he hits the boot right into the post.
Yep.
Very similar to how Brett mentioned did that to Johnny.
Yes.
Because remember, Corey's the one who recruited Brett Mention, as we said before.
Yes, he did recruit him.
And then the Dynamite Destroyer into the ladder. 1, 2, 3. It's over.
It's done. The story's done.
At least for this portion.
And Kyle comes out with a big win. A very big win for him, let's be honest. I mean, Kyle's first ever match that we've talked about in the previous episode was a Table from Hell match against Nick Switchblade and I believe J-Bones?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, he beats 2 members of the Psycho Asylum by outwitting them, and he shows it in this match. He outwits Corey throughout the entire match.
He does.
He's got a fucking brain on him, so he used it. He used everything that he had in his arsenal.
Kyle did a hell of a job, and thank God he advanced and not Corey Dangerous after the crap they pulled. Ladies and gentlemen, that
is round 2.
That was also round 1. Ladies and gentlemen, next episode
we're going over the quarterfinals
and then Gold Rush itself.
And then after that, we're going to be talking about a little bit of the card, because we have to.
Yes.
We're going to go over a little bit of the card, and we're probably going to talk about our personal picks.
Well, actually, the card predictions, the reason why we didn't actually do the card predictions, because people were confused why we didn't do that on the podcast, was because we're actually doing that on a podcast hosted by Logan Myers on Future Entertainment. We will be giving our predictions then.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Nobody tells me any of this.
Well, now you know. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Jane?
A real American hero.
Wait, Jane?
Yeah, G.I. Jane. Nobody ever talks about G.I. Jane. They always talk about G.I. Joe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we get any more
Good movie from what I'm told.
Before we get any more memey, or whatever the fuck the saying is, we're Meme, yes.
We'll talk to you. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you want to subscribe. That'd be very helpful.
Yes, it would.
Have a very good afternoon, night, evening, morning, whatever you're listening to this.
And please buckle up, because it's time to get on the road.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening. For Mr. Excitement, John Caterer, and the main man, Nate Farrar, I'm the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher. We're off to Foxborough.
Woohoo! Let's go!
A table from hell with the Psycho Asylum. An Iron Man match of factorial proportions. Man.
In this fight, I will melt you down to slag.
Versus machine.
I calculate a 0.85% chance that you will win in your current condition.
All metal mayhem. Colleen Horizon.
When you throw me into the wolves, I will return leading the pack.
Vera McGarden.
I'll do anything to be the warrior on top.
For the Athena title, best friends turned bitter rivals. Johnny Starr.
Don't get in the way of the star or you'll get burned.
James, the Archangel.
I'm the real star of this brand.
For the international title, the Outsider, Mark Young. The Executioner, Michael X. For the WYW World Heavyweight title. 2 out of 3 fall.
Inside.
In a hell in a cell. WYW Immortal this Saturday night. Now available on these streaming platforms.